The infinite great destructive forces intertwine and merge, yet are completely under Lin Yuan's control. In the eyes of the red dust immortals and immortal kings, this is the symbol of comprehending the Tao of chaotic origin destruction. To comprehend the Tao of chaotic origin destruction, at least the pinnacle realm of the red dust immortal is required, and to realize it, it's essentially impossible without being an immortal king. In other words, is this newly ascended red dust immortal already stepping into the realm of the immortal king? Newly ascended red dust immortal? Immortal king? Two completely different titles. Yet they appear on the same person. It's actually an immortal king? Many red dust immortals looked at Lin Yuan in disbelief. At the same time, they began to re-examine the past timeline of the great wilderness origin world. Directly observing Lin Yuan's timeline is too obscure. Moreover, being on the celestial path inherently suppresses the observation of timelines. However, all the red dust immortals have left avatar imprints in the great wilderness origin world. These avatar imprints usually lie dormant. They awaken only when needed. The red dust immortals cannot directly observe Lin Yuan's past timeline, but they can observe the past timeline of the beings in the great wilderness origin world, thus obtaining a lot of information related to Lin Yuan. Indeed, he's a newly ascended red dust immortal. Emperor Tianyuan only entered the great emperor realm 2 million years ago. 2 million years. And he's already entered the immortal king realm? It's terrifying. How did he manage it? With such speed and cultivation, even the 3 immortal emperors can't compare, right? The red dust immortals whispered amongst themselves, their eyes showing incredulity as they gazed at Lin Yuan. If it was merely an emergence of an immortal king, they wouldn't be so astounded. Pinnacle red dust immortals are only a step away from becoming immortal kings. Given the cultivation environment of the celestial path, a new immortal king could emerge at any time. But Lin Yuan? Only 2 million years ago he entered the great emperor realm. And now he's an immortal king? In truth, the red dust immortals don't know that Lin Yuan's actual cultivation time is far less than 2 million years. Calculated in full, it's merely over 100,000 years. Most of that time was spent in other dimensional spaces. Without the optimal cultivation environment like the great wilderness origin world, abundant with immortal substance. Beneath the time life of the great wilderness origin world, there's a limit to lifespan. Yet undeniably, its cultivation environment far exceeds other dimensional spaces. The upper limit for 12th layer life is also far higher than other dimensional spaces. Those supreme emperors can compete with the red dust immortals to a certain extent. What distinguishes them from the time life is simply the lack of experiencing the time cycle. Truly a monster. The white-haired immortal king looked at Lin Yuan, deeply shocked internally. As a fellow immortal king, he best understands how difficult it is to comprehend a certain Tao of chaotic origin. Especially the Tao of chaotic origin destruction, which excels in offense, its difficulty surpassing most Taos of chaotic origin. However, for an immortal king to become an immortal emperor, it's far more difficult than a red dust immortal breaking through to an immortal king. The white-haired immortal king thought silently. While the red dust immortals think breaking through to an immortal king is arduous, they don't realize that from immortal king to immortal emperor, it's the truly insurmountable leap. So many red dust immortals? Lin Yuan looked at various red dust immortals, thinking secretly. At this moment, he sensed the presence of more than 60 red dust immortals, knowing that in the chaos void, it corresponds to 13th layer time life. More than 60 time lives? Only in special dimensions like the Milky Way dimension where many 13th layer forces congregate could so many time lives appear at once. Even though the origin world is special, capable of merging more time lives. Using the example of the first origin world and the second origin world, a complete great destruction cycle gives birth to at most 20 to 30 time lives. Is it related to the end of the celestial path? Lin Yuan glanced at that virtual world at the end of the celestial path. The immortal substance that permeates the great wilderness origin world originates from that virtual world. The existence of the immortal substance makes the transition of power in the great wilderness origin world far faster than in chaos void and other dimensional spaces. An era in chaotic space is often marked by a 12th layer being cultivating and advancing to 13th layer, occurring over tens of thousands to millions of cosmic eras. Whereas in the great wilderness origin world, an era is merely 1,000,000 years, at most 2,000,000 years. Because the maximum lifespan of a great emperor is 1,000,000 years, perhaps extended by consuming an immortal elixir to live another 1,000,000 years. 1,000,000 years? Several million cosmic eras? The gap between them is nothing short of a chasm. With more great emperor realm experts, naturally the number of red dust immortals who've passed through the time cycle would increase. As the number of red dust immortals increases, the number of second realm immortal kings and third realm immortal emperors climbs as well. Ha ha ha. Welcome Lin Yuan to the celestial path. The white-haired immortal king took a step forward, appearing in front of Lin Yuan and smiled. Welcome Lin Yuan to the celestial path. The other two immortal kings shared the same sentiment, their expressions friendly. Adding a red dust immortal helps them approach the virtual world at the end of the celestial path. Not to mention adding an immortal king. Lin Yuan, you can call me Reincarnation. The white-haired immortal king smiled and said, his title being Reincarnation Immortal King. I'm Bai Bin. I'm Wushan. The other two immortal kings introduced themselves. Reincarnation, Bai Bin, Wushan. Lin Yuan returned the greeting. These three immortal kings are second realm time lives, stronger than the gray ancestor in Chaos Void. Lin Yuan chatted with the three immortal kings for a while before discussing the current situation of the celestial path. At the end of the celestial path, there are 213 red dust immortals, 14 immortal kings. Adding Lin Yuan, it's likely 15. Reincarnation Immortal King smiled and said, 213 red dust immortals? Lin Yuan nodded. The red dust immortal auras he sensed were only a part. Many more red dust immortals were approaching the illusory world at the end of the immortal path from different directions. If one were to imagine the illusory world at the end of the immortal path as a sun, then the many red dust immortals and immortal kings were attempting to approach from all around. As for immortal emperors, there are 3. Reincarnation Immortal King said. 3 immortal emperors. Lin Yuan's expression was grave. Even before descending to this origin world, through the perspective of the Myriad Realms Gate, he had already noticed 3 completely sealed timelines. Only a Time Lord can thoroughly seal their own timeline, which in this origin world equates to an emperor-level powerhouse. Are the 3 immortal emperors also approaching that illusory world? Lin Yuan asked. To date, the only Time Lord he had encountered was the Lord of Heaven Light, and that was a Time Lord who had completely fallen. The 3 immortal emperors are mainly locking onto that illusory world. Reincarnation Immortal King said. Locking onto the illusory world? Lin Yuan appeared thoughtful. Without the intervention of the 3 immortal emperors, none of us could even observe the illusory world, let alone approach it. The illusory world was not nurtured by the great wilderness origin world, but comes from the depths of the dimensional rift. Reincarnation Immortal King paused, then continued. In the early period of the ancient era, an alien object fell from beyond the great wilderness origin world, and since then, the undying matter has permeated the heavens and the earth. Later, after the first immortal emperor observed the past and future, they finally locked onto the location of that alien object, which is at the end of the immortal path. After an eternity of evolution, that alien object has transformed into the current illusory world. In reality, the illusory world formed by the alien object has completely integrated into the depths of the great wilderness origin world. Without the immortal emperor's actions to lock it, none of us could detect even a trace. Reincarnation Immortal King said. I see. Lin Yuan nodded slightly, while also becoming curious about the alien object that fell into the great wilderness origin world. What level of treasure or rarity could it be that even 3 lords could not conquer but only managed to lock onto? Illusory world? Lin Yuan gazed into the distance towards the illusory world. I bet Brother Lin Yuan is quite curious. Reincarnation Immortal King smiled slightly. Brother Lin Yuan, come with me. Only by approaching the illusory world can one perceive part of the essence of this world. Soon afterward, Reincarnation Immortal King and the three Immortal Kings took Lin Yuan to attempt to approach the illusory world. As they got closer, the great destructive force grew more intense, vaguely accompanied by other higher-level powers circulating, which even made Lin Yuan somewhat anxious. However, as Lin Yuan continually approached the illusory world, this world at the end of the immortal path began to change in Lin Yuan's field of vision. It no longer appeared as an illusory world but as a miniature version of infinite dimensional space. Observing it was equivalent to observing the entire dimensional space. A flood of inspiration and understanding once again surged in Lin Yuan's mind. Why do I feel that this is more insightful than directly observing the evolution of the chaotic origin Tai Yin and Taiyang Dao? Lin Yuan was incredulous. 6,000 years ago, when Lin Yuan believed he had achieved the pinnacle in all aspects, he utilized the Supreme Rule Dao to transact for an opportunity, the chance to directly observe the evolution of the chaotic origin Tai Yin and Taiyang Dao. Originally, Lin Yuan thought this opportunity would allow him to completely comprehend the Taiji Dao of the chaotic origin source. But he ultimately underestimated the difficulty of comprehending the Taiji Dao of the chaotic origin source. Observing the operation of the chaotic origin Tai Yin and Taiyang Dao greatly aided Lin Yuan. Yet trying to comprehend the Taiji Dao of the chaotic origin source from it was still lacking. Though the Taiji Dao of the chaotic origin source is rooted in Tai Yin and Taiyang, it encompasses innumerable origin Daos. To comprehend it, merely observing the chaotic origin Tai Yin and Taiyang Dao was insufficient. However, now, observing the illusory world at the end of the immortal path sparked numerous flashes of insight for Lin Yuan. Your comprehension is extraordinary. Observing the mysterious force's evolution has greatly enhanced your understanding of the chaotic origin Taiji Dao. Your comprehension is extraordinary. Observing the mysterious force's evolution has greatly enhanced your understanding of the chaotic origin life Great Tao. Your comprehension is extraordinary. Observing the mysterious force's evolution has greatly enhanced your understanding of the chaotic origin spacetime Great Tao. Most of Lin Yuan's mind was immersed in observing that mysterious world at the end of the immortal path. No wonder nearly all the red dust immortals entering the immortal path never returned to the great wilderness origin world, nor even bothered to pay attention. Lin Yuan thought rapidly. When clearing through numerous forbidden zones, Lin Yuan discovered some backhands left behind by red dust immortals. But these backhands had not been activated, clearly showing the owners were not too concerned about happenings in the great wilderness origin world. At that time, Lin Yuan had found it rather strange. But now it appeared more natural than ever. With such terrifying insight speeds from observing the illusory world, not to mention the red dust immortals, even immortal kings would not be distracted by mundane affairs from the great wilderness origin world. As long as the great wilderness origin world was not destroyed, the red dust immortals would not interfere in any way. Of course, other red dust immortals, immortal kings, and even immortal emperors do not have Lin Yuan's level of insight speed, but even so, it's vastly superior to their usual cultivation efficiency. The past, the present, the future. An idea stirred in Lin Yuan's mind, and one after another, virtual avatars were created to flow upstream along the timeline, heading towards the distant past. This technique originated from Lin Yuan's ninth physical body divine ability. 18,000 years ago, Lin Yuan's physical form successfully gave birth to the ninth physical body divine ability, named Past Self. In essence, it involves concentrating a true self in the past timeline. In this way, even if the true self in the current timeline is annihilated, as long as the true self in the past timeline still exists, it can quickly coalesce into a true self in the present timeline. This physical body divine ability leans towards self-preservation. As long as the past is not extinguished, the present remains undying. Of course, forming the past self requires Lin Yuan to expend significant time. But now, accompanied by the improved understanding of the chaotic origin spacetime Great Tao, Lin Yuan's speed in sending consciousness to the past to consolidate the past self has surged. The complete formation of past self naturally draws closer. Past self, present self, and is there a future self? Through observing the imbued chaotic origin spacetime great Dao within the illusory world, Lin Yuan vaguely sensed that this physical body divine ability was incomplete, with a crucial part being the future self. By forming a future self in the future timeline, one's self-preservation capabilities would again see a major boost. Once this method is mastered, there would be no period of weakness within one's timeline, negating the possibility of being killed by a Time Lord who travels to the past. Once the past self is completely formed, Lin Yuan's past and present strengths would be equivalent, with no discrepancy where his past self is weaker than his present self. What kind of alien object could evolve into such an illusory world? The more he pondered, the more astonished Lin Yuan became. The illusory world contained chaotic origin Daos that were so comprehensive as to be beyond belief, and so profound as to be unfathomable. Never mind, I'll delve into the insights first. Lin Yuan didn't dwell on it much longer. In comparison to various gains in this origin world, his insights into the chaotic origin Daos were of utmost significance. They could be shared among the true selves of various levels. My internal universe is also advancing. Amid his insights, Lin Yuan noticed changes within his internal universe. As various chaotic origin Daos integrated, his internal universe grew increasingly perfect, faintly surpassing the chaos void. Thus, Lin Yuan began to wholeheartedly delve into the illusory world at the end of the immortal path. Additionally, Lin Yuan frequently allocated part of his mind to discourse with other red dust immortals and immortal kings. The 13th level life forms all had insights regarding chaotic origin Daos, insights that had valuable aspects irrespective of correctness, providing Lin Yuan with various experimental perspectives. Under the direct guidance of the illusory world at the end of the immortal path, and through exchanging insights with each red dust immortal and immortal king, Lin Yuan's strength began to rapidly advance once more. A mere few hundred years have passed. Lin Yuan's past self has already fully consolidated. Not only the past self of the third origin world's true self, the true self of the chaos void, the true self of the first origin world, the true self of the second origin world. All of them condensed past selves in their own timelines. It's done. A smile appeared on Lin Yuan's face. With the past self consolidated, it means there are no longer any weaknesses. Even facing a killing move at the level of a Time Lord, there is the ability to resist. The Time Lord can travel to the past and kill at an enemy's weaker stage. However, the Time Lord in the past timeline is also suppressed. And the past self inherently exists in the past, not weaker than the present, plus the advantage of home field. While it may not defeat the Time Lord, self-preservation is not an issue. Even after reaching the third realm and becoming a Time Lord, the past self remains a powerful method. Lin Yuan mused internally. The battles at the level of a Time Lord are, in some sense, a contest between past and future. With the past self anchoring the timeline, fighting alongside another Time Lord of the same level would be much more poised. Future self. Having condensed the past self, Lin Yuan began thinking about the future self. The 9th kind of physical body divine ability he awakened is not complete. It only includes the past self. There is no future self. Lin Yuan confirmed the existence of a future self only by deducing and understanding with the past and present as the basis. But how to condense the future self? This would require time to attempt. Unlike the fixed past, the future holds infinite variables. The difficulty in condensing the future self far exceeds that of the past self. The source of my 9th physical body divine skill should be the 3-life immortal emperor. Lin Yuan thought internally. What is called physical body divine ability originates from the fundamental power deep within the bloodline. Since it is a bloodline, a source exists, for instance, the 8th physical body divine ability Lord status, which comes from the Lord of Heaven Light. And the 9th physical body divine ability past self should originate from the 3-life immortal emperor. The 3-life immortal emperor was the first immortal emperor of the great wilderness origin world. It was the 3-life immortal emperor who observed past and future, using the three-life body to penetrate the end of the immortal path, thus discovering that illusory world. The strength of the three-life immortal emperor is undoubtedly the strongest among the three immortal emperors, and also considered extremely powerful among the Time Lords. Unfortunately, after hundreds of years on the immortal path, not to mention seeing the three-life immortal emperor, I haven't seen the other two immortal emperors either. Lin Yuan slightly shook his head. If he could meet the three-life immortal emperor, exchanging insights on reincarnation, with his against heaven's understanding, he could definitely speed up the condensation of the future self. With the past self and present self, condensing the future self is not a hopeless endeavor. Take it slow. Opportunities will eventually arise. Lin Yuan was not impatient, as the illusory world at the end of the immortal path contained enough profound mysteries to captivate even a Time Lord, and he would remain in this place for a long timeline. Only, in the past century, the frequency of tremors in that illusory world has increased significantly. Lin Yuan looked towards the illusory world at the end of the immortal path, pondering to himself. In theory, the illusory world shouldn't appear at the end of the immortal path. It was locked there by the great means of the three immortal emperors, allowing numerous red dust immortals and immortal kings to observe and comprehend it. The so-called immortal path was opened by individual red dust immortals and immortal kings, aiming to approach the illusory world as closely as possible, observing and understanding more of the essence that emerges from the illusory world. Since forcibly locking it in, the illusory world naturally struggles. At intervals, the illusory world roils violently once, trying to break free from the lockdown of the three immortal emperors. Much like a big fish originally trapped by a fishing net. Even if it can't escape the net, it will roil up numerous undertows around the net. Currently, there are 5 immortal paths, each with 2 or 3 immortal kings and dozens of red dust immortals. The immortal path Lin Yuan resides in was established by the reincarnation immortal king and 2 other immortal kings, along with over 60 red dust immortals. The other 4 paths are the same. The positions these different immortal paths are close to the illusory world vary in distance, and hence bring different insights. The reincarnation immortal king and the other 2 immortal kings possess considerable strength, and their opened immortal path is very close to the illusory world, ranking among the top 2 of the 5 immortal paths. Of course, these 5 immortal paths were extensions from the original main immortal path. That main immortal path, the one where Lin Yuan entered via the sealed entrance of the Bronze Immortal Palace. Several days later, Lin Yuan gathered with the reincarnation Immortal King Bai Bin, and Wushan Immortal King. Tian Yuan, how goes your understanding? The reincarnation Immortal King smiled at Lin Yuan. The other 2 Immortal Kings also smiled, with the Wushan Immortal King further offering fine wine and pouring for each. It's been very helpful. Lin Yuan nodded. The profound essence swirling from the illusory world contains various origin Daos, an irresistible allure for any being of time. When the three-life immortal emperor first opened the main immortal path, the second immortal emperor had not yet been born, and there were only 6 immortal kings. Immortal King Bai Bin remarked nostalgically. Normally, even with the uniqueness of the great wilderness origin world, producing 1 immortal king would already be the limit. Producing 3? Do they think immortal kings are roadside vegetables? If not for the illusory world, how could one origin world have 3 immortal kings? The three-life immortal emperor was, indeed, great. Lin Yuan nodded. With the three-life immortal emperor's methods and power, it could easily dominate the illusory world. Why bother opening the main immortal path? To share the illusory world with many red dust immortals? But the three-life immortal emperor did so, perhaps knowing that relying solely on himself, he couldn't explore that illusory world any deeper. So he opened the main immortal path to cultivate more companions. At least compared to when the main immortal path was first opened, with only the three-life immortal emperor alone sealing the illusory world, which was extremely difficult, constantly facing the struggles of the illusory world. Now, with 3 immortal emperors joining forces to seal it, the illusory world has become relatively docile, struggling only once in a long while. Considering the time, It seems we need to reopen the immortal path again, the reincarnation immortal king said suddenly while drinking fine wine. Every so often, the illusory world rolls and struggles violently, and the aftermath wipes out the 5 immortal paths opened by the immortal kings. At that time, many red dust immortals and immortal kings need to reopen new immortal paths to approach the illusory world and continue to comprehend and observe. Reopening new immortal paths is both a bad thing and a good thing. Approaching the illusory world from a different position and direction allows experiencing the essence of the origin Dao differently. Reopening the immortal path? Lin Yuan was not surprised. In recent centuries, the frequency of shocks in the illusory world has increased, and the immortal kings have long been prepared for this. This time, with the addition of Tai Yuan, we can choose a better position to open the immortal path. The Wushan immortal king's eyes lit up. Approaching the illusory world from different positions and angles allows different insights into the fluctuations of the origin Dao. The more core the area, the greater the difficulty in opening it. At the end of the immortal path, the illusory world was vast and boundless. If one came close to observe, they would find that the surface of the illusory world was covered with chains. It was these chains that completely fixed the illusory world in place, preventing it from leaving or dispersing. At this moment, thin ripples suddenly arose inside the illusory world. The thin ripples quickly grew into a storm, sweeping towards the chains that restrained it. The chains shook, blocking the illusory storm, but the remaining aftermath spread out in all directions. Rumbling, the 5 immortal paths near the illusory world rapidly collapsed. Numerous red dust immortals and immortal kings quickly retreated to the main immortal path. Is this the struggle of the illusory world? Lin Yuan also stood on the main immortal path observing. At this moment, the main immortal path had gathered all the red dust immortals and immortal kings, more than 200 red dust immortals and 15 immortal kings, gathering in 2s and 3s. Lin Yuan naturally stood with the reincarnation immortal king Bai Bin, and Wushan immortal king. Other immortal kings occasionally made eye contact with Lin Yuan, nodding slightly, showing goodwill. As fellow immortal kings from the great wilderness origin world, they would naturally form friendly relations if possible. A few months later, the illusory world gradually returned to calm. The aftermath that swept in all directions also subsided. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. One after another, immortal kings, along with numerous red dust immortals, began to act, choosing a position and direction to reopen the immortal path towards the illusory world. Standing on the main immortal path, one could also view the illusory world, but the distance was too far, providing limited help. Only by opening an extremely close immortal path could one observe and comprehend the illusory world up close, making a significant impact on oneself. This time we'll open the immortal path from here. The reincarnation immortal king observed for a while, then finally spoke. This immortal path? Immortal king Bai Bin's expression changed slightly. The immortal path chosen by the reincarnation immortal king led towards the core area of the illusory world. Attempting to open such an immortal path would encounter greater obstacles. Reincarnation? Are you confident? The Wushan immortal king asked solemnly. Opening an immortal path also requires knowing one's limits. Forcibly choosing to open an immortal path in a core area, if not successful, the time and effort spent before would be completely wasted. I have made a breakthrough in my power, and with Tai Yuan joining us, we can give it a try, the reincarnation immortal king said. Breakthrough in power? Immortal king Bai Bin looked at the reincarnation immortal king. The reincarnation immortal king was already close to the peak of immortal kings, and now another breakthrough in power? In that case, let's give it a try. Wushan immortal king nodded. The immortal path connecting to the core region is extremely difficult to open, but once successful, it would be greatly beneficial to them. If it's only adding Lin Yuan, this action might seem rash, as adding a newly ascended immortal king doesn't offer much improvement for them. However, if the reincarnation immortal king steps into the peak of immortal king, then it would be worth a gamble. From now on, you will assist me. The reincarnation immortal king's hair changed from white to black, as a sense of reincarnation began to permeate around him. Soon, the reincarnation immortal king took a step forward and moved swiftly toward the virtual world. "Let's go." Wushan immortal king saw this and immediately followed. Immortal king Bai Bin and Lin Yuan also followed in succession. Next were dozens of red dust immortals. Rumble, rumble. As the reincarnation immortal king continued to approach the virtual world, a sky-high force of binding and pressure enveloped around. Immortal king Bai Bin and Wushan immortal king's expressions slightly changed. The dozens of red dust immortals at the back were also affected. Shoo 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 as they got closer to the virtual world. The force of binding and pressure grew stronger, permeating through layers of spacetime, spreading along the timeline, unavoidable and must be endured. The reincarnation immortal king walked at the forefront, resisting the greatest pressure. As for immortal king Bai Bin and Wushan immortal king, they began to stabilize time and space. Opening the immortal path is about creating an area of stable time and space, within which one can wholly comprehend the virtual world without resisting external environmental pressure. What immortal king Bai Bin and Wushan immortal king are doing is just that, along with the dozens of red dust immortals at the back. With the reincarnation immortal king blocking most of the pressure, others stabilize time and space, opening a stable immortal path. Endless reincarnation. As the reincarnation immortal king advanced closer to the virtual world, a reincarnation realm began to evolve around him, continuously converting and dispersing the sky-high binding and pressure. The appearance of the reincarnation realm allowed the reincarnation immortal king to breathe a sigh of relief. But before long, the reincarnation immortal king's expression changed again, because the sky-high force of binding increased suddenly from all directions, causing his reincarnation realm to show signs of collapse. "Looks like I overestimated myself." The reincarnation immortal king sighed inwardly, halting his steps towards the virtual world. If he continues, the force of binding will increase, likely causing his reincarnation realm to collapse instantly. "Reincarnation? What's the situation?" Immortal king Bai Bin immediately asked. "I cannot go any closer," the reincarnation immortal king stated honestly. Once his reincarnation realm collapses, the few immortal kings present and the numerous red dust immortals may immediately face physical annihilation. Though not complete death, losing their main combat body would be a heavy loss. "Cannot go any closer?" Immortal king Bai Bin understood in his heart. It seems the reincarnation immortal king isn't confident in resisting the pressure ahead. "Should I share some of the pressure?" Immortal king Bai Bin said softly, his strength only second to the reincarnation immortal king and above Wushan immortal king. The opening of the immortal path has already proceeded halfway. Giving up now makes immortal king Bai Bin somewhat reluctant. "It's useless." The reincarnation immortal king shook his head. The aftershocks coming from deep within the virtual world penetrate through various timelines, making the associated future incredibly blurred and distorted. Before opening this immortal path, the reincarnation immortal king couldn't discern if it could be successfully opened, unclear about the relevant future timelines. He merely felt a breakthrough in his strength and decided to give it a try. Now it seems the attempt may have been mistaken. "Since we can't go any closer, let's retreat immediately and choose another path to open," Wushan immortal king advised. "All right." The reincarnation immortal king nodded. He glanced at Lin Yuan, who was continuously observing the surroundings, and asked unconsciously, "Tanuan, do you have any thoughts?" Those words from the reincarnation immortal king were casually spoken, without expecting Lin Yuan to offer anything beyond agree. "Let me try." Lin Yuan observed the surroundings, having no prior experience in opening an immortal path. He had been watching intently. Now he somewhat understood and expressed his thoughts. Reincarnation immortal king Bai Bin, and Wushan immortal king were all stunned. "Try?" Lin Yuan wants to try continuing to carve out the remaining Xian Road? The Xian Road leading to the core area of the illusory world, which endures overwhelming binding and compressive forces. Even the reincarnation immortal king at the peak of immortal king does not dare to continue opening it. Lin Yuan's cultivation speed was unprecedented. becoming an immortal king in just over 2 million years. But wanting to continue opening the next part of the Xian Road, even with the peak strength of an immortal king, is impossible. Moreover, Lin Yuan had only entered the Xian Road for a few hundred years and could not possibly be at the peak of immortal king directly. Lin Yuan glanced at the three perplexed immortal kings without explaining, merely stepping forward gently. Swoosh! Lin Yuan's figure silently appeared at the forefront, even ahead of the reincarnation immortal king, who had been leading the way. In an instant, a pressure that could obliterate everything enveloped them. Previously, with the reincarnation immortal king blocking most of the pressure, even ordinary red dust immortals could withstand it. Now, as Lin Yuan stood at the forefront opening the way, he naturally had to bear most of the pressure originating from the illusory world. Buzz, buzz, buzz. With a slight movement of thought, Lin Yuan's internal universe swept out in an instant, resisting all binding and compressive forces. Now, Lin Yuan's internal universe, in every aspect, surpassed the chaos void, this kind of top-tier dimensional space. Once he used this as a foundation to activate the divine ability world, the external universe he formed had such strong defense that even a Time Lord couldn't easily shake it. Under normal circumstances, unless a Time Lord paid a huge price, they couldn't deal with top-tier dimensional spaces like the chaos void. Lin Yuan's internal universe surpasses the chaos void, naturally making the Time Lord even more helpless. The essence of the illusory world at the end of the Xian Road is extremely high, yet Lin Yuan does not need to face its full power, only an insignificant part, which his external universe can easily handle. Go! Lin Yuan strode towards the illusory world. Just relying on his internal universe, Lin Yuan could overpower and crush a number of immortal kings, which are second-realm time beings. Compared to before descending into the third source world, where Lin Yuan had to ponder deeply just to suppress a single gray ancestor, now his strength had increased so much, with a fully converted immortal material body and insights gained from the illusory world over the past few hundred years. If the gray ancestor appeared before Lin Yuan again, it would be suppressed in a breath. Rumble. The endless, overwhelming binding and compressive forces were completely blocked, as Lin Yuan strode forward, soon reaching a position very close to the core area of the illusory world. Standing here, Lin Yuan could clearly observe the surface of the illusory world, covered in chains of terrifying aura. Lin Yuan turned back, noticing the three immortal kings staring blankly in place. This reincarnation immortal king Bai Bin, and Wushan immortal king were still pondering the meaning of "let me try," only to find Lin Yuan had already traversed the remaining Xian Road, leaving them a bit bewildered. What had they seen? How is this possible? Emperor Tianyuan, he? The dozens of red dust immortals following behind the immortal kings also stared in disbelief at what lay before them. The closer it is to the illusory world, the more terrifying the compressive force becomes. The reincarnation immortal king stopped because he wasn't sure he could withstand the compressive force ahead. Yet Emperor Tianyuan easily traversed the most difficult latter half of the Xian Road. It's too terrifying. How exactly did Emperor Tianyuan do it? I don't even feel like he struggled. If the compressive forces in the latter half of the Xian Road remain unchanged, then Emperor Tianyuan's strength definitely surpasses the reincarnation immortal king. The gaze of each red dust immortal was filled with wonder. They had already been comprehending the Xian Road for endless ages, and the more they did so, the more terrifying they felt the illusory world was. Emperor Tianyuan so effortlessly opened a difficult path to the core area's Xian Road. Reincarnation Immortal King Bai Bin, and Wushan Immortal King were still dazed. Reincarnation, aren't you coming up? Lin Yuan immediately transmitted a message. In order to open a stable Xian Road and resist the compressive forces originating from the illusory world, merely the beginning was needed. Thereupon, space and time still needed to be stabilized to create a firm environment. Otherwise, Lin Yuan would have to constantly resist the compressive forces of the illusory world, and even if he could still spare the effort to comprehend, the efficiency would certainly be greatly reduced. Yes. Tianyuan, we will follow at once. The reincarnation immortal king immediately reacted. Although Lin Yuan opening the Xian Road alone somewhat broke their understanding, it was obviously a good thing. Being able to comprehend in such a position close to the core area of the illusory world, the efficiency would definitely be much higher than other Xian roads. Everyone, start stabilizing the Xian road immediately. The reincarnation immortal king immediately looked at the many red dust immortals. Now that the most difficult part of opening the Xian road had been achieved by Lin Yuan, stabilizing the Xian road was left to them. With the reincarnation immortal king's command, the many red dust immortals were instantly full of vigor. Originally, they thought they had to abandon this Xian road and choose another to open, but unexpectedly Emperor Tianyuan forcibly opened the remaining Xian road. Now these red dust immortals were merely following in the wake of Emperor Tianyuan. The Xian road that reincarnation opened, the immortal kings of the other 4 Xian roads also looked over immediately, their expressions filled with disbelief. The Xian road leading to the core area of the illusory world opened so effortlessly? Mainly because Emperor Tianyuan opened it. Reincarnation merely managed to open the easiest first half. For Emperor Tianyuan to so easily withstand the pressure of the virtual world, in terms of defense, even if we immortal kings were to join forces, I fear we would still be unable to handle him. This defense nearly reaches the level of an immortal emperor. Numerous immortal kings watched from afar. Even among immortal kings, the strength gap is not too large. The peak of an immortal king compared to one who has just entered the immortal king realm is difficult to overwhelm decisively. The latter can leave whenever they wish. Thus, immortal kings are often unwilling to accept being inferior to another. Over a dozen immortal kings and hundreds of red dust immortals, the reason they divided into 5 separate immortal paths is not only to more widely interpret areas of the virtual world. There is also the purpose of minimizing disputes and conflicts as much as possible. Why has Lin Yuan received goodwill from all the immortal kings and red dust immortals? It's because there are no significant karmic grievances with any of them. But it is different between the other immortal kings. Yet now, all immortal kings are completely convinced of Lin Yuan's defensive means. Even if over a dozen immortal kings were to join forces, it's likely they wouldn't be able to handle Lin Yuan. To what kind of origin Dao does Emperor Tianyuan's method of defense pertain? Chaotic origin world Dao? Chaotic origin space Dao? It seems like both but also neither. This is probably Emperor Tianyuan's secret technique. If it could be easily discerned by you, that would be remarkable indeed. Indeed, I feel that the number of chaotic origin Daos realized by Emperor Tianyuan is not small. Only through the perfect fusion of multiple chaotic origin Daos can such terrifying defensive power be produced. Numerous immortal kings conversed among themselves. Strong individuals at the level of immortal kings, as they realize their origin Daos, will successively realize more chaotic origin Daos. Thereupon, powerful immortal kings will use their own chaotic origin Dao as the core and integrate other chaotic origin Daos to create one secret technique after another. Currently, what they saw of the cosmos outside Lin Yuan's body, the profundity it contained was not inferior to one chaotic origin Dao after another. Close to the virtual world, 3 towering figures sat cross-legged there. I never expected that such a strong individual could still emerge in the great wilderness origin world after the primeval times, the towering figure on the left said with a smile. In the late period of the primeval times, the 3-life immortal emperor opened up the main immortal path, bringing many red dust immortals and immortal kings into it. And as the 3 immortal emperors sealed the virtual world, the undead material sourced from the virtual world became much scarcer. The increasing scarcity of undead material meant that the number and quality of strong individuals born in later generations would decline. But Lin Yuan? Even in the primeval times, a strong individual like Lin Yuan never appeared. When the 3-life immortal emperor was still in the immortal king realm, it was impossible to possess such terrifying power. In him, I sense traces of the 3 eras method. 3 eras. Could it be that the legacy you left in the great wilderness origin world has been inherited? The figure on the right said, "The 3 eras method is my foundation. I have not left behind any related legacy." The towering figure in the middle shook its head, mainly because even if something had been left behind, it would be of no use. No outsider could possibly learn it. That is indeed interesting. The towering figure on the right took an interest. The strength of this Tian Yuan likely means no opponent exists for him at the immortal king level. The towering figure on the left spoke. In comparison to those red dust immortals and immortal kings, their observations of Lin Yuan were more detailed and specific, knowing that Emperor Tianyuan's measures far exceeded defense alone. Not to mention other aspects, just the cosmos extended outside Lin Yuan's body could crush numerous immortal kings, not only for defense. Indeed, the towering figure on the right nodded in agreement. Being an immortal emperor, also known as the Time Lord, his perspective was not confined to the great wilderness origin world. He thoroughly understood the vast dimensional gaps surrounding them. None of the time lives in the second realm within these dimensional gaps could compare to Lin Yuan. Lin Yuan could undoubtedly be called invincible among immortal kings. If such a strong individual were to become an immortal emperor, might we have a hope to completely explore the virtual world? The towering figure on the left spoke softly. Indeed, the towering figure on the right said. Now, with the three immortal emperors joining forces, they have basically sealed the virtual world at the end of the immortal path. But sealing does not mean it has been fully explored. Even now, the three immortal emperors are still helpless against the virtual world. Under the leadership of the reincarnation immortal king and two other immortal kings, a stable immortal path gradually took shape. And Lin Yuan no longer needed to constantly resist the pressure emanating from the virtual world. Ha ha ha! This immortal path is almost established. The reincarnation immortal king laughed. Thanks to Tian Yuan. Immortal King Bibin looked at Lin Yuan. Tanan, you've really kept us in the dark. If it weren't for your display of power this time, who would have known your strength is so formidable? Even the peak immortal king is no match for you, right? That's certain. The reincarnation immortal king nodded. He himself was at the peak of the immortal king level, and he had an accurate assessment of this. He was definitely not Lin Yuan's opponent, not even capable of challenging him slightly. Lin Yuan smiled. In fact, many of his techniques hadn't been used yet, although the universe outside his body could be considered one of Lin Yuan's trump cards. After entering the immortal path, I've gained many insights, achieving a breakthrough. Lin Yuan said, It's merely luck. Your luck is rather frightening. Immortal King Wushan couldn't help but say, All right, this immortal path has been opened. The foremost position is reserved for Tian Yuan. The reincarnation immortal king said, An open stable immortal path, depending on the distance to the virtual world, brought varying levels of insights. Without a doubt, the foremost position closest to the virtual world had the highest efficiency in insights. I have no objections. Neither do I. Immortal King Wushan and Immortal King Bibin nodded. They could say this time that they thoroughly benefited from Lin Yuan. Without Lin Yuan, they would probably still be selecting other immortal paths to open. How could they be sitting here discussing all these? Then I won't decline. Lin Yuan didn't act humbly. This immortal path was mainly opened by him, so it was right for him to occupy the best position. If Tian Yuan declines, who would dare to comprehend here? The reincarnation Immortal King Bibin, and Immortal King Wushan exchanged smiles. While chatting idly with the three immortal kings, Lin Yuan had already started comprehending the virtual world. The current immortal path where Lin Yuan was located was near the core region of the virtual world. The mysterious insights of the origin Dao he could comprehend from there were far superior to those from earlier immortal paths. Lin Yuan could vaguely see the scenery deep within the virtual world. Your understanding is against heaven. Your understanding is against heaven. Your understanding is against heaven. A surge of enlightenment flashed through Lin Yuan's mind. Numerous brilliant insights continuously merged and collided, forming new perspectives. Can I enter this virtual world? A certain desire arose in Lin Yuan's mind, wanting to enter this virtual world. Even just comprehending from outside the virtual world had yielded such significant rewards. If he truly entered, wouldn't stepping into the third realm be as simple as eating and drinking? Forget it. Lin Yuan gathered his thoughts and abandoned the idea. Let's not mention whether he could actually enter the virtual world. Even if he could enter, considering the nature of the virtual world exposed outside, whether he would be affected by it was uncertain. Anyway, with Lin Yuan's against heaven understanding, even comprehending outside would bring unimaginable rewards, so there was no need to risk entering the virtual world. According to what Lin Yuan knew, the three immortal emperors had not entered the virtual world either, but were stationed closer, similarly comprehending. Even something that immortal emperors like the Time Lord couldn't achieve, Lin Yuan did not plan to attempt by himself. Time slowly passed. In the blink of an eye, 200 years had passed. 200 years of close comprehension of the core region of the virtual world had tremendously benefited Lin Yuan. Many chaotic origin Daos interwoven in his mind, gradually merging into an origin Dao presenting a black and white yin-yang image, vast and mighty. The chaotic origin Taiji Dao is almost comprehended. A smile appeared on Lin Yuan's face. The red dust immortals and immortal kings on the immortal path all believed that he was an immortal king because he had comprehended the chaotic origin destruction Dao. In reality, Lin Yuan's own chaotic origin Taiji Dao hadn't been comprehended yet. His true realm was still in the 13th-stage first realm, which is the red dust immortal, the second source world. Since Lin Yuan ended the magic disaster, this source world has prospered once again. Without the threat of demonic qi and creatures, cultivators can focus their main efforts on cultivation, leading to a rapid explosion of power among the strong in the three carefree realms. Those cultivators who could withstand the pressure of the magic disaster have solid foundations. As long as they arrive in a suitable environment, there is a high probability of making rapid progress in cultivation. Just like a person who has been carrying a heavy burden for a long time, one day finally freed from it. The outcome is self-evident. Living for a long time in an environment suffused with demonic qi, their perception of the laws and the great Tao is obscured and restrained. If they can break through this restraint, they can soar to the skies. All living beings. Lin Yuan sat cross-legged, his gaze encompassing the entire source world, with the future timelines of each being unfolding rapidly. The intertwining and collision of countless beings' timelines constitute the future of this source world. For non-time life beings, they are too fragile compared to time beings. Lin Yuan thought, this fragility is not physical but a deeper, existential fragility. It's like characters in a picture book, who, no matter how they stir up storms within the book. For those outside the book, they can see through at a glance and maybe the first time it's interesting. But after watching it multiple times, it no longer causes any emotional fluctuation. A life of a 12th-order consummate being, brilliant and extraordinary, is quite dull in the eyes of a time being. Perhaps, in the eyes of a perfect time beings are just as thin and mundane? Lin Yuan pondered privately, though he doesn't know if a perfect time being really exists. However, with the means of a perfect time being, so-called time-life beings and non-time life beings are not significantly different. In some sense, the fate of time-life beings is ordained by the perfect time being. Only by becoming a Time Lord can one have a slight resistance against the perfect time being? Lin Yuan thought to himself. At least Time Lords already have the qualification to challenge towards the perfect time being. Whether they succeed is another matter. Power is the foundation of everything. As long as the strength is strong enough, what can a perfect time being do? Lin Yuan was rather eager in his heart. The higher the realm, the stronger the power, the more one longs for strength. Because only with powerful enough strength can one attain great freedom, with one's destiny not dictated by others. Ordinary mortals might just want to live their life in peace. But time-life beings? How could they tolerate their destinies being predetermined? Chaotic origin Taiji Dao. Lin Yuan's mind stirred slightly, and before him, the power of yin and yang interwove, vaguely forming a grand Dao. Once I comprehend the chaotic origin Taiji Dao, my power will soar. Lin Yuan stared at the soon-to-be-formed origin Dao. It's not just an extra path in the chaotic origin Dao, but also a way to step into the second realm through this origin Dao. This is much greater enhancement for Lin Yuan than comprehending the chaotic origin destruction Dao or chaotic world Dao alone. Although comprehending the chaotic origin Tai Dao can still not make Lin Yuan rival a perfect time being, at least he is getting closer. Compared to other time-life beings whose power has not improved over endless ages, Lin Yuan's power progresses continuously, hardly encountering any significant bottlenecks. Buzzing, the black and white yin-yang Dao continuously interweaves, nearing the formation of the chaotic origin Tai Dao. This naturally begins to influence every law and principle of the entire source world. Comprehending existing chaotic origin Daos does not cause much commotion. For example, the chaotic origin destruction Dao, because infinite dimensions already exist. But the chaotic origin Taiji Dao? Before Lin Yuan comprehended it, this origin Dao did not appear in endless dimensions, and its birth naturally would resonate with countless origin Daos. However, because Lin Yuan is within the source world, this resonance will be confined to the source world. It will not affect the interstitial spaces of endless dimensions. This commotion, is it the galaxy? The Master of Infinite and other eternal lords were the first to sense the changes in every law and principle of the source world. Their gazes all turned simultaneously towards the source of the change, where Lin Yuan was located. Is it the origin Dao? Has the galaxy comprehended his own chaotic origin Dao? The Master of Black Space was somewhat stunned. Comprehending one's own chaotic origin Dao signifies that he is about to step into the 13th order second realm. But how long has Lin Yuan been a time-life being? For other newly ascended time-life beings, this amount of time isn't even enough to stabilize their realm, and Lin Yuan is about to enter the second realm. The Master of Black Space had initially seen Lin Yuan's future timeline, and was prepared for the galaxy to enter the second realm, or even become a Time Lord. But this is too soon, faster than any future timelines he has foreseen entering the second realm. Impressive, impressive. Truly a predestined time-life being. The Master of Wu Shan sighed with amazement. With the timeline of a destined time-life being as a foundation, the Master of Wu Shan found it not too unbelievable for Lin Yuan to comprehend his own origin Dao so quickly. There is a sense of surprise, yet also inevitability. The other eternal lords were carefully feeling the fluctuation of the origin Dao. For a time being in the first realm, sensing the fluctuation of a brand new origin Dao is also an opportunity. This fluctuation, the Master of Infinite was stunned, though he was also in the first realm, and had not experienced the comprehension of his own origin Dao. He still keenly perceived. The commotion was immense. The myriad laws and paths of the entire source world were influenced by this. A second realm time life form, even if going all out, couldn't possibly shake the source world, let alone just comprehend their own chaotic origin Dao. It's crucial to understand that the pursuit of the Master of Wushan is to draw a source world. Achieving this would mark the moment of becoming a Time Lord. It stands to reason that the power capable of shaking the entire source world undoubtedly belongs to the level of a third realm Time Lord. Infinite. Have you discovered anything? The Master of Black Space noticed something unusual in the expression of the Master of Infinite and immediately inquired. The eternal lords around also turned their gaze over. Nothing much. The Master of Infinite did not directly voice their thoughts, because they were somewhat unsure. Instead, with a hint of deeper meaning, they said, I just saw the galaxy comprehending its own origin Dao, much like back in the days of training under our teacher. The teacher mentioned by the Master of Infinite naturally referred to the Lord of Heaven Light, who is also a Time Lord. With the practice speed of the galaxy, there's no problem in reaching the heights of our teacher someday. The Master of Black Space quickly affirmed the view of the Master of Infinite. The Third Realm Lord, challenging for other time life forms, probably means nothing in Lin Yuan's eyes. It's only a matter of time. The Master of Infinite glanced sideways at the Master of Black Space, saying no more. Before the future? The implication of their earlier words was that the current galaxy gave them a feeling not much different from the Lord of Heaven Light. Is there a need to wait until the future? But this hypothesis is so incredible. Just comprehending its own origin Dao already on par with Third Realm Lords? The first source world. 6 ancestors immediately sensed the fluctuation of the origin Dao. Simply a monster. How long has it been? The Defu ancestor was internally shocked, yet slightly fortunate for humbling themselves to Lin Yuan from the start. The scene in the future timeline will likely occur now. No, it should be harsher than the timeline observed. The enmity of a second-realm time life form in the same dimensional space is unbearable for any first-realm time life form. This is different from a second-realm life form in a dimensional gap. When facing a second-realm time life form in a dimensional gap, the Defu ancestor was at most apprehensive, knowing that as long as they stayed within the source world, nothing could be done to them. With the protection of source world consciousness, even a Time Lord has to pay a price to harm them, let alone a second-realm time life form. But a second-realm life form in the same dimensional space can completely ignore the source world protection and directly attack the Defu ancestor. Then, the Defu ancestor's many survival methods would be useless, even becoming weaknesses. Fierce Sun, your luck. The Deling ancestor glanced at the Fierce Sun ancestor. Though the ancestors were independent, Lin Yuan was from the Fierce Sun ancient country after all. Now that Lin Yuan became a second-realm time life form, their status is undoubtedly the highest. Among those below Lin Yuan, the Fierce Sun ancestor ranks next, unavoidable because of the connection. In terms of strength, the Defu ancestor is the strongest, followed by the Deling ancestor, and the Fierce Sun ancestor was not prominent among the original 6 ancestors. But now, taking advantage of the connection with Galaxy, they surpassed them all. Ha ha ha! The Fierce Sun ancestor smiled. In terms of cultivating their offspring, the Fierce Sun ancestor was not as adept as the Defu ancestor, but Lin Yuan hails from the Fierce Sun ancient country by chance. We come from the same dimensional space, and during the great cataclysm in the future, we need to join forces against other time life forms. The Fierce Sun ancestor immediately stated. For time life forms like them, true challenges only arise after the great cataclysm upon entering dimensional gaps. Right? The Thunder Origin ancestor nodded, acknowledging their less close ties with Galaxy compared to the Fierce Sun ancestor. Ultimately, they come from the same dimensional space, belonging to the same camp that needs to remain united against external threats in the future. Chaos Void. Lin Yuan sat cross-legged, and before him, a vast chaotic origin Taiji Dao had completely formed. Is this my origin Dao? Lin Yuan carefully examined it, noting that the power of the chaotic origin Taiji Dao far exceeded that of the chaotic origin destruction Dao. Normal second-realm time life forms typically comprehend their own chaotic origin Dao before understanding other chaotic origin Daos, but I did it the other way around, understanding other Daos first before the chaotic origin Taiji Dao. Lin Yuan felt a surge of joy, fundamentally because the comprehension difficulty of the chaotic origin Taiji Dao was too high. This could be seen from the time when Lin Yuan first comprehended the chaotic Taiji Dao, where other Chaos Realm beings accomplished their own chaotic evolutionary paths with just a threshold of Chaos Rule. Whereas Lin Yuan nearly achieved Chaos Rule completion before understanding the chaotic Taiji Dao. I can feel that by comprehending the chaotic origin Taiji Dao and stepping into the second realm, my strength is not different from a Time Lord. Lin Yuan assessed themselves, being no weaker in direct combat than any usual third realm Time Lord. As for mastery over timelines and concealing their own timeline, with the blessing of the Lord rank, there was no difference from a Time Lord. Moreover, one of the strongest methods of a Time Lord, traveling to the past to slay enemies in their weaker periods. However, upon condensing a past self, Lin Yuan's past equates to his present. Any Time Lord daring to travel to the past to kill him would pay a tragic price. For Time Lords, past spacetime repels them, and forcing entry involves constant backlash, with even greater costs for taking action there. But Lin Yuan's past self, being of the past, faced no repulsion, and battling Time Lords from the future would be straightforward combat for him. Now, if I claim to be a Time Lord, no one would question it. Real Third Realm Lords wouldn't notice any difference. Lin Yuan pondered internally. In truth, even if they noticed, what of it? In the dimensional gap, strength reigns supreme, with Lin Yuan being able to rival Time Lords by all means. He indeed is a Time Lord. Who dares to question? In fact, Lin Yuan's methods were far more terrifying than those of a Time Lord, wielding world-breaking origin force as a deadly weapon. capable even of completely killing an actual Time Lord, shattering the myth of Time Lords being undying unless willing to die. Of course, this requires a vast amount of world-breaking origin force, and unless absolutely necessary, Lin Yuan would not choose this path. The third source world, Great Wilderness Origin World, at the end of the Celestial Road. With the comprehension of the chaotic origin Tai Dao, the spacetime Great Dao at the end of the Celestial Road was affected, beginning to ripple centered around Lin Yuan. Initially, the Red Dust Immortals did not show much shock. Red Dust Immortals comprehending their own origin Dao to become immortal kings wasn't an unheard-of occurrence along the Celestial Road. Many of the more than 10 immortal kings came this way. But as the ripple effects expanded, even influencing one immortal road after another, all the Red Dust Immortals displayed confusion and disbelief. Wasn't it just comprehending one's own chaotic origin Dao? Why such a great upheaval? It's Emperor Tianyuan. Wait, I'm unsure. Wasn't Emperor Tianyuan not even an immortal king before? The Red Dust Immortals and immortal kings were incredulous, realizing that the recently showcased prowess surpassing the immortal king's peak by Emperor Tianyuan. Was he just an ordinary Red Dust Immortal like them? Not even an immortal king. Tianyuan, my dear fellow, from the shadow world, 3 immortal emperors, who longed for the day when Lin Yuan could join them, were about to continue studying the illusory world when they perceived the emergence of the chaotic origin Tai Dao. Ah! The 3 immortal emperors did not know Lin Yuan's true realm. At the 13th level of time life, the level of realm is not directly visible. For instance, whether a time life has comprehended its own origin Dao, if it does not actively display it, it cannot be determined. Normally, one can only judge through the strength of this time life. Lin Yuan's previous strength was comparable to an immortal king, coupled with the comprehension of the chaotic origin destruction Dao. Theoretically, a first-realm Red Dust Immortal could not achieve these. As for observing Lin Yuan's past and future timeline, with the protection of a lord status, even an immortal emperor would find it difficult to grasp the full picture, and forcibly peeking would inevitably alert Lin Yuan. Time lives are very wary of their own past timeline. If the 3 immortal emperors forcibly peeked into Lin Yuan's past timeline, even if they could see what they wanted, it would undoubtedly offend Lin Yuan. This would be somewhat not worth the loss. As long as it's confirmed that Lin Yuan was born in the Great Wilderness Origin World, that's enough. The 3 immortal emperors, despite being shocked that Lin Yuan was not originally a second-realm immortal king, were only slightly shocked, and their true focus was still on the newly born chaotic origin Tai Dao. This kind of chaotic origin Dao is more perfect than any origin Dao I know, and not even inferior to those innate chaos origin Daos. The immortal emperor sitting on the right felt waves in his heart. The so-called innate chaos origin Dao is akin to the chaotic origin destruction Dao, the chaotic origin spacetime Dao. Such fundamental Daos underpin the operation of endless dimensional realms. In terms of pure power, these innate chaos origin Daos might not match certain chaotic origin Daos comprehended by second-realm immortal kings or even immortal emperors. But they are certainly the most perfect, applicable to all dimensional realms. For instance, the chaotic origin spacetime Dao, when further subdivided, is the chaotic spacetime Dao, and even further into spacetime Dao, spacetime rule, rule of time, space rules, etc. In any place in the endless dimensional realms, there are traces of the chaotic origin spacetime Dao. It is incomparably perfect and influences every aspect, which is something those acquired chaos origin Daos cannot achieve. And now the chaotic origin Tai Dao gives the 3 immortal emperors a similar feeling, akin to those innate chaos origin Daos in terms of perfection. If using such a Dao to assault a perfect time being, I wonder what the result would be. The immortal emperor sitting on the left had a slightly fervent gaze. Whether one can become a perfect time being depends on one's own path, which is set at the beginning of cultivation. Although there hasn't yet been a Time Lord who successfully becomes a perfect time being, and there is no standard for what path can step into the 14th level. According to every Time Lord's thought, one's Dao must be as perfect as possible. Now, the chaotic origin Tai Dao comprehended by Lin Yuan is the most perfect chaotic origin Dao the 3 immortal emperors have ever seen. Perfect time being. The immortal emperor sitting on the right was in a complicated mood. Each time life's Tao has been set, no matter how perfect Lin Yuan's chaotic origin Taiji Dao is, it has nothing to do with them. But if they could witness the birth of a truly perfect time being, for Time Lords like them, it would be a hopeful sign, at least indicating the direction is right. The ultimate pursuit of Time Lords is to break through great destiny and transcend all constraints. And becoming a perfect time being means being able to completely master their own destiny, achieving transcendence of all constraints. Which path of transcendence to choose is not something we can decide. At this moment, the three-life immortal emperor spoke. He had been silently observing the operation of the chaotic origin Taiji Dao. Now let's go meet Lin Yuan. The three-life immortal emperor said. Yes, it's time to meet. The two immortal emperors on the left and right nodded. Originally, they planned to wait until Lin Yuan also became an immortal emperor before meeting him. But now, though Lin Yuan is not an immortal emperor, the three immortal emperors do not doubt that he is already not any weaker than an immortal emperor. Without having comprehended his own chaotic origin Tao, he was able to achieve peerless immortal king status, nearing the immortal emperor level. Now that he has comprehended the chaotic origin Tao, and such a perfect chaotic origin Tao at that, the essence of his life has again transformed, stepping into the immortal emperor domain. At the end of the immortal road where Lin Yuan stood, under the circulation of the black and white yin-yang Taiji Dao, the restraining pressure from the virtual world was all retreating. Is this my Dao? Lin Yuan was joyful in spirit. The chaotic origin Taiji Dao was the fruit of his labors since stepping onto the path of cultivation. It is the embodiment of all Tao fruits. The physical body and spirit might have the potential to dissipate, but the chaotic origin Tao will not. Lin Yuan's expression shifted slightly, detecting three immense consciousnesses descending from afar, immediately restraining the chaotic origin Taiji Dao. In the next moment, three figures appeared not far from Lin Yuan. Greetings, immortal emperors. Lin Yuan slightly bowed to show respect. Though his current strength is perhaps at the same level as the three immortal emperors, he admired their undertaking of opening the immortal path. No matter the initial intentions of the three-life immortal emperor, such as cultivating peer-level powerhouses to jointly explore the virtual world, the fact that they publicly shared the immortal path, the existence of the virtual world, and led many red dust immortals and immortal kings to enlightenment, was indeed beneficial. Countless red dust immortals and immortal kings benefited, including Lin Yuan, who also gained much. If it wasn't for the enlightenment of the virtual world, it's likely the time he comprehended the chaotic origin Taiji Dao would have been greatly delayed. There is no need for such formalities between us. The three-life immortal emperor standing in the middle smiled and said, My name is Three-Life. From now on you can just call me Three-Life. My name is Wu Yu. My name is Dao Yu. The immortal emperors standing on the left and right spoke in succession, their tone kind. I am called Lin Yuan. Lin Yuan nodded. The three immortal emperors of the great wilderness origin world are Three-Life, Wu Yu, and Dao Yu. Among them, the three-life immortal emperor is also the first immortal emperor, the discoverer of the illusory world. Wu Yu immortal emperor and Dao Yu immortal emperor were born after the major immortal path was opened. The manifestations of will of the three immortal emperors descended to meet Lin Yuan. The invisible aura they emitted caused the surrounding spacetime to become chaotic, and the pupils of the red dust immortals and immortal kings who were originally observing shrunk instantly. Immortal Emperor, the three immortal emperors have come to see Lin Yuan. Many red dust immortals understood in their hearts and quickly began to discuss. The majority of the three immortal emperors' attention was focused on locking onto the illusory world. Even if something major happened, they would only directly contact those few pinnacle immortal kings. As for personally descending as manifestations of consciousness, it was unknown how long it had been since that happened. Lin Yuan, the reincarnation Immortal King by Bin, and Wushan Immortal King exchanged glances. The personal presence of the three immortal emperors and the release of a signal meant that Lin Yuan was already capable of comparing with the immortal emperors. If this weren't the case, it wouldn't be possible for the three immortal emperors to arrive together. Even if there were a significant event, at most one immortal emperor's consciousness manifestation would suffice. Why should all three come? The main reason for the three immortal emperors coming together was to show their regard for Lin Yuan. Realizing this, the reincarnation immortal king and other immortal kings felt emotional, remembering when Lin Yuan first arrived on the immortal path, and how soon after he was equated with the immortal emperors. Tian Yuan, which type of chaotic origin Dao have you realized? Dao Yu immortal emperor was quite curious. The three-life immortal emperor and Wu Yu immortal emperor also looked at Lin Yuan. I call it the chaotic origin Taiji Dao. Lin Yuan did not hide it, raising his right hand, where black and white yin-yang Taiji power wove and clashed. The chaotic origin Taiji Dao was comprehended by him, and other beings of time could not seize it. Moreover, as the pioneer of this origin Dao, even if beings in the future walk this path, they would be under his jurisdiction. Remarkable! The three-life immortal emperor observed the operation of the black and white yin-yang Taiji power closely, nodding slightly. The higher the realm, the more revered such an origin Dao becomes, and at least the three-life immortal emperor himself could absolutely not comprehend a Dao of such a level. I wouldn't have comprehended it without the guidance of this illusory world, Lin Yuan said. So many red dust immortals were guided for long ages but never comprehended such an origin Dao. Wu Yu immortal emperor chuckled. Guidance, after all, depends on the person. The chaotic origin Taiji Dao isn't something that mere guidance can reveal. Tian Yuan, how have you concealed your own timeline? What means did you use? Wu Yu immortal emperor smiled. I once had the opportunity to obtain the status of a lord, Lin Yuan said. The status of a lord is incredibly precious for beings of the first realm and second realm, but for immortal emperors of the same level it isn't much. With Lin Yuan's current strength, he's perfectly capable of maintaining the status of a lord without concern. I see. Wu Yu immortal emperor nodded. He was still curious what means Lin Yuan had used to achieve such a degree of blocking his own timeline. It's important to know that before, Lin Yuan was not an immortal emperor, not even an immortal king, and none of the three immortal emperors noticed anything amiss. I see you've already condensed your past self. How does it feel? The three-life immortal emperor looked at Lin Yuan and asked. Incredibly profound, Lin Yuan said solemnly, knowing that in front of him was the source of the ninth type of physical body divine ability. Even the past self was merely a part of the three-life immortal emperor's methods, with even more obscure future self to come. This past self, with the present self as a foundational anchor point, is condensed along the past timeline. Once successfully condensed, mastery over one's own timeline becomes easier, extending from the past and present to the future. The three-life immortal emperor looked at Lin Yuan. However, to condense the past self, the threshold is extremely high, heavily reliant on talent. I have passed down related legacies before, but not a single being has mastered it. Lin Yuan listened obediently. Condensing the past self mainly relies on the fundamental power deep within one's bloodline, which is referred to as talent by the three-life immortal emperor. Of course, Lin Yuan's against heaven's understanding also plays a significant role, for without it, even if the related divine skills are awakened, it would take ages to completely condense it. For beings like us, the past self also has an even more important function, involving the path to transcendence, and you will realize this in time. The three-life immortal emperor spoke with profound meaning. Path to transcendence? Lin Yuan was quite curious. He knew the ultimate pursuit of the Time Lords is transcendence. Transcend fate. Transcend constraints. However, currently, Lin Yuan only knows that for the Time Lords to transcend, they must step into the 14th rank and become a perfect time being. A perfect time being dictates the past, present, and future, which is the true form of great transcendence and great freedom. And from what the three-life immortal emperor implied, aside from becoming a perfect time being, there are other methods of transcendence. Or perhaps the past self may also aid in becoming a perfect time being. Lin Yuan's thoughts surged. Involving the path to transcendence, even at the Lord level, it is considered a secret, which Lin Yuan hasn't yet delved into. The only Time Lord he currently interacts with is the Lord of Heaven Light, but the Lord of Heaven Light hasn't left much related information. Since you've condensed the past self, how is your insight into the future self coming along? The three-life immortal emperor asked with interest. His three lives method involves the past self, present self, and future self, yet there has been no heir to it so far. No real leads yet, Lin Yuan replied. Compared to condensing the past self, the future self is exceedingly obscure and difficult. However, after comprehending the chaotic origin Tai Dao, Lin Yuan vaguely feels that his grasp of the future has improved by a significant margin. If he continues to condense the future self, it should be much simpler. These are some of my insights into the future self. The three-life immortal emperor flipped his right hand, and a crystal floated, hovering before Lin Yuan. Thank you. Lin Yuan's heart stirred, and his mind delved into the crystal, immediately flooding his mind with vast information about the future self, as well as the past self and present self, along with a complete set of the three lives method. These insights are extremely helpful to me, Lin Yuan said earnestly. At this moment, he felt as though he could attempt to condense the future self right away. It helped a lot just by viewing it once. The three-life immortal emperor was slightly puzzled, but he didn't think much of it, assuming Lin Yuan was simply inspired. In actuality, even if the three lives method he created were made public, it would hold little meaning for those red dust immortals and immortal kings, as no one can master it. The three-life immortal emperor himself only conceived the three lives method after stepping into the immortal emperor realm and realizing the past and future. If one can successfully condense the future self, past self, present self, and future self, overseeing the past, present, and future, one can then explore the infinite origin time nodes of the past. The three-life immortal emperor said. Explore the infinite origin time nodes of the past? Lin Yuan was slightly confused. Yes. The three-life immortal emperor nodded, seeming to understand Lin Yuan's confusion, and explained, this is also a path to transcendence, called infinite origin. It is said that at the source of time, the origin point of everything, lies the ultimate secret of endless dimensions and realms being born and evolving. Reaching there also enables transcendence. The three-life immortal emperor looked at Lin Yuan and said, Time Lords can travel back along the timeline to the past, and theoretically, they can reach the source of the timeline, which is the origin node of endless dimensions and realms. Transcendence. Lin Yuan's expression was solemn. The transcendence method he knows of now is to become a perfect time being. This is also the path of transcendence chosen by the Lord of Heaven Light. Yet the three-life immortal emperor mentioned another path to transcendence. Infinite origin. There are three methods, or rather three paths, we can choose for transcendence. The three-life immortal emperor said, Infinite origin is one, perfect life is another, and the third is endless tribulation. Perfect life, infinite origins, endless tribulations. Lin Yuan's expression was thoughtful. What the Time Lords pursued was transcendence. As for transforming into a 14th rank perfect time being, it's just one method of achieving transcendence, not the only way one can transcend. Transcendence is merely the ultimate destination, while there are multiple paths leading to that destination. And these multiple paths refer to perfect life, infinite origins, endless tribulations. Perfect life is easy to understand. It means becoming a perfect time being. Infinite origins mean reaching the source of time, the initial time point of dimensional evolution. These three methods are the most probable ways to transcend, deduced from our Lord's understanding of infinite dimensions. The three-life immortal emperor paused for a moment before continuing. Besides, some lords have explored transcendent paths outside of these three methods, but they've all been proven unable to transcend ultimately. I see. Lin Yuan nodded in understanding. The so-called proof means that some lords have fulfilled the requirements of the method, yet still failed to break through their own great fate. As for perfect life, infinite origins, endless tribulations, none of them have been achieved by any lord so far. Coupled with repeated deductions by various lords, they have become the mainstream three paths to transcendence today. Time Lords observe the past and the future. They believe these three methods, if accomplished, can lead to transcendence due to some definite evidence. Though the methods exist, achieving them is indeed too difficult. The three-life immortal emperor said in a low voice, his tone complex. The transcendence path he chose was infinite origins, using the present and future self to anchor the past self, and then proceed to the origin of time. This path to transcendence isn't as extreme as perfect life. Failure doesn't equate to death. But plunging too deep into past time can lead to the calamity of loss. Even so, the three-life immortal emperor's three-life method holds more advantages over other Time Lords exploring this transcendence path. Still, caution is necessary, as past time is also fraught with dangers. Once lost, a Time Lord cannot return to the present time, remaining eternally in past time. In that case, it wouldn't differ from falling, as being lost in past time means one can't discern the direction of time, nor continue to the time's origin point. Indeed, very difficult. Lin Yuan nodded. Although he hasn't tried these three transcendence paths yet, there's the cautionary tale of the Lord of Heaven Light. He naturally understood the difficulty within. And how could methods that past, present, and future Time Lords fail to accomplish be simple? Lin Yuan looked at the three-life immortal emperor. What is the method of endless tribulations? He understood what perfect life and infinite origins were. But endless tribulations? The transcendence path of endless tribulations stems from the trials of the supreme rule Dao consciousness within dimensional evolution. The three-life immortal emperor said, by reaching the third realm Time Lord tier, one's consciousness can perceive the presence of the supreme rule Dao consciousness, thereby opening the transcendence path of endless tribulations. The trials of the supreme rule Dao consciousness? Lin Yuan's heart stirred. Indeed. The three-life immortal emperor nodded. This path is identified as a transcendence path because the supreme rule Dao consciousness wouldn't engage in meaningless acts. Leaving such trials specifically targeted at Time Lords is likely related to transcendence. Lin Yuan nodded slightly at the words. There are many things enticing to a Time Lord, but transcendence is surely the common pursuit of all Time Lords. The transcendence path of endless tribulations is divided into three layers. The first layer is 36 billion 2,000 tribulations, the second layer is 10 billion 8,000 tribulations, and the third layer is 3 billion 3,000 tribulations. After overcoming 36 billion 2,000 tribulations at the first layer, one can proceed to the second layer of 10 billion 8,000 tribulations, followed by the third layer of 3 billion 3,000 tribulations. Each time a tribulation is overcome, one's strength increases, and the difficulty of the next tribulation also rises. Failing is akin to death. One's existence will be erased by the supreme rule Dao consciousness. And only by overcoming all tribulations does one pass the trial left by the supreme rule Dao consciousness, achieving transcendence. The three-life immortal emperor said. Lin Yuan's expression froze. Suddenly he thought of the Defeng emperor as the target when he fell into the time loop world. Evidently, the Defeng emperor knew of Lin Yuan's existence beforehand and knew Lin Yuan would act against him. Hence he abandoned the Defeng dynasty and plunged to the bottom of the deep sea, intending to evade pursuit. Based on his actions, he didn't resemble a native of the time loop world. Rather, he appeared akin to an outsider like Lin Yuan. And the fake death method the Defeng emperor created to plunge into the deep sea wasn't something a 12th rank perfect life of the same tier could create. Even Lin Yuan found it challenging to create a secret technique to fake death for over a century under the extremely stringent rules of the time loop world without relying on any external materials. Now it seems that Defeng emperor's more likely to be a Time Lord undergoing endless tribulations? After all, the time loop world was created by the supreme rule Dao consciousness, and endless tribulations are also trials left by the supreme rule Dao consciousness, making it easy for Lin Yuan to associate the two. In what form are the tribulations in endless tribulations endure? Lin Yuan inquired. Any form is possible, the three-life immortal emperor said. For example, the supreme rule Dao consciousness might send you to a specific point in past time and space to complete a certain trial, or perhaps drag your mind and will into a special world to pass a test, and so forth. Lin Yuan nodded. In his heart, he was almost certain that the Defeng emperor he encountered was a Time Lord undergoing infinite tribulations. Yet, He was unsure of the level of tribulation the other was facing. I couldn't hold back at the time either, Lin Yuan thought to himself. Since he successfully passed the trial, it was likely the other had failed. According to the three-life immortal emperor, a Time Lord who fails to pass a tribulation would be erased by the supreme rule Dao consciousness, certain death. During the trial in the time loop, even though Lin Yuan knew where the other came from, he could not hold back intentionally. Who knew what unforeseen changes would occur if he let that Time Lord pass the tribulation? Although he had the world-breaking origin force as a backup if the opponent changed, and a kill resulted in a sharp increase in world-breaking origin force, it would be a substantial loss. And until the end, Lin Yuan had never used the world-breaking origin force, relying entirely on himself to pass the time loop trial. For a Time Lord, the first level with 3.6 billion tribulations is not too difficult. As long as you're careful, you can get through. The three-life immortal emperor's face showed a smile. A Time Lord that has passed 3.6 billion tribulations is generally considered very strong. Each tribulation within the infinite tribulations, as long as it is passed, results in a slight increase in strength. The truly difficult ones are the second-level tribulations, the 1.8 billion ones, especially the last 8,000 tribulations. Each trial is incredibly terrifying. Three-life immortal emperor seemed to recall something and said, I stopped at the 10th billionth tribulation within the second level. I didn't dare to attempt the remaining 8,000 tribulations. Among three transcendence paths, almost every Time Lord has attempted infinite tribulations because passing each tribulation indeed boosts strength considerably. As long as one acts within their means, there's not much risk involved. The infinite tribulations transcendence path can be chosen to activate actively and is not mandatory. Up until now, on the transcendence path of infinite tribulations, which tribulation has the farthest-reaching Lord managed to pass? Lin Yuan asked curiously. To my knowledge, a Time Lord has reached the third-level tribulations, and these lords are unimaginably powerful. Ordinary lords stand no chance against them. The three-life immortal emperor said gravely. I understand. Lin Yuan nodded. The farther one goes down the path of infinite tribulations, the more tribulations passed, the stronger one becomes naturally. Ordinary Time Lords stopping at the first-level tribulations are naturally no match for those existing in the third-level tribulations among Time Lords. Tian Yuan, when you become a Lord, you can also consider trying the path of infinite tribulations. Of course, we see that your insight into the chaotic origin Tai Dao is very perfect and is quite suitable for pursuing the state of a perfect time being, but it's worth trying, suggested the three-life immortal emperor. Even if Lin Yuan manages to master the three-life method, he could attempt the infinite origin transcendence path. The three-life method of the three-life immortal emperor offers advantages in exploring the past. The reason why the three-life immortal emperor didn't continue attempting the subsequent tribulations in infinite tribulations is not necessarily because they couldn't be overcome, but because it was unnecessary. If forced to attempt, the three-life immortal emperor believed they might reach the last few tribulations among the 1.8 billion ones, but the risks were too great, and even passing them would only lead to the much harder third-level tribulations waiting ahead. Rather than that, it was better to focus energy on a more certain transcendence path. Lin Yuan nodded. Whether it was the three-life immortal emperor, or Dao Yu immortal emperor, or Emperor Wu Yu, they all thought the most suitable path of transcendence for Lin Yuan was perfect life. After all, becoming a perfect time being depends only on the path taken, and Lin Yuan's chaotic origin Taiji Dao is almost equivalent to the innate chaos origin Dao, making his potential to become a perfect time being much greater than other Time Lords. But the most suitable transcendence path for me is infinite tribulations. Lin Yuan thought silently. Even if the chaotic origin Taiji Dao equates to the innate chaos origin Dao, so what? Who could guarantee it would definitely transform into perfect time being? But infinite tribulations. According to the experiences in the time loop world, it is possible to pass the trials through the forceful power of the world-breaking origin force. Which means, for other Time Lords, every tribulation in infinite tribulations comes with the possibility of crossing or not crossing, and failing to cross means death. But for Lin Yuan, even if a tribulation is met that cannot be crossed, he could ultimately expend world-breaking origin force to force his way through. The only downside is that it consumes too much world-breaking origin force. The tribulations of the 3 levels of infinite tribulations add up to tens of billions of crossings. How much world-breaking origin force would it take? However, world-breaking origin force can accumulate continuously, no matter how much. It's merely a matter of time. And in the eyes of time beings, the least scarce resource is time. Chaos void. Lin Yuan sat cross-legged, feeling the comprehensive transformation within his body. From physique to soul will, everything skyrocketed after comprehending the chaotic origin Tai Dao. Future self. Lin Yuan's gaze deepened as he looked toward the future in the myriad timelines. After understanding the chaotic origin Tai Dao, Lin Yuan's observation of the future naturally became much clearer. The difficulty of condensing future selves plummeted, especially with the guidance on condensing future selves obtained from the 3 Life Emperor's 3 Life method, allowing Lin Yuan to advance rapidly in gathering future selves. Soon, along Lin's myriad future timelines, countless future selves condensed rapidly. The past self is singular, but the future self exists in countless numbers, as the future holds countless variables, extending innumerable future timelines, hence requiring numerous future selves. This is also why the difficulty of gathering future selves far exceeds that of the past self. Past self, present self, future self. Lin Yuan's eyes gleamed as future selves formed. He immediately sensed control over the timelines. After gathering the future self, all the timelines Lin Yuan occupied seemed as one, and at the same time, the past self's exploration of past times also greatly improved. No wonder the 3 Life Immortal Emperor chose the infinite origin path of transcendence. Lin Yuan thought privately, the 3 Life method had a stable anchoring effect on the past time. And the greatest danger of the infinite origin transcendence path lies in becoming lost. As many time beings vanish at a certain moment without a trace, most likely falling into the disaster of becoming lost in past times. However, even the 3 Life method can only anchor the past self to possibly avoid the disaster of becoming lost. But whether one can reach the source of time, no one knows. Lin Yuan shook his head slightly. Compared to the 3 levels of tribulations in infinite tribulations, at least there's a target to surpass all tribulations to transcend. The infinite origin transcendence path lacks even a target. To reach the source of time? Who knows where the source of time is? Now that the future self has formed, it's possible to consolidate the timelines. Lin Yuan's thoughts moved slightly, and his own timelines began to converge and unify. The time being in the second realm to become a lord must consolidate their own timelines. Yet, for normal time beings in the second realm, consolidating their own timelines is tremendously troublesome. The infinite vastness of the future timelines makes consolidating each one immensely taxing. But for Lin Yuan, who has gathered future selves with future selves to restrain the timelines, consolidating them was entirely a sequential process. Even if Lin Yuan didn't attempt to consolidate the timelines, the future selves would instinctively gather towards a particular timeline. Of course, relying on instincts to consolidate timelines requires enduring a long time. Under Lin Yuan's conscious consolidation, his own timelines were merging at an incredibly exaggerated speed. In the dimensional rift, Wan Chengkong and Mother of the Screw Realm sat across from each other, sipping fine wine as they chatted. As second realm time lifeforms in this area of the dimensional rift, Wan Chengkong and Mother of the Screw Realm stood at the pinnacle, renowned among the surrounding time lifeforms. Second realm time lifeforms, though unlike Time Lords, lacked the means to utterly annihilate time lifeforms. Yet, few first realm time lifeforms dared to provoke, making enemies with second realm time lifeforms, risking death or relentless pursuit. Who would have thought that Galaxy is a time lifeform within the dimensional space, without even experiencing a great apocalypse, already a second realm? Wan Chengkong's expression was wistful. Recently, the Milky Way dimension produced a third realm lord material, attracting 2 second realm time lifeforms to compete over it. One second realm time lifeform, named Grey Ancestor, came from a distant rift region, familiar to Mother of the Screw Realm and Wan Chengkong. But another second realm time lifeform, Galaxy? Mother of the Screw Realm and Wan Chengkong had no impression of it. Originally, they thought galaxy came from an even more distant dimensional rift region, thus unknown to them. As for why the time lifeform in the Chaos Void could invite such a second realm time lifeform, perhaps it was a fortuitous encounter, or for other reasons speculated Mother of the Screw Realm and Wan Chengkong. They weren't very surprised. But as the Milky Way dimension was taken over by the Chaos Void dimension, news of galaxy spread. This second realm galaxy was also from the Chaos Void. This left Mother of the Screw Realm and Wan Chengkong a bit dumbfounded, not knowing how many eras and hardships they endured after their home dimensional space's great apocalypse, constantly strategizing against other time lifeforms, analyzing various timelines. Only then did they finally manage to comprehend their own chaotic origin Dao and step into the second realm. And yet, galaxy was already second realm within their home dimensional space? Wan Chengkong felt somewhat uneasy, having recently sought out Lin Yuan, hoping to collaborate on exploring a special dimensional space. However, Lin Yuan had yet to respond, leaving Wan Chengkong somewhat disappointed. Encountering a time lifeform that entered the second realm within a great apocalypse cycle is truly unbelievable, said Mother of the Screw Realm. In this vast dimensional rift region, second realm time lifeforms are numerous, but those entering the second realm within a great apocalypse cycle are incredibly rare. At least, Mother of the Screw Realm and Wan Chengkong had only heard of such types of second realm time lifeforms, rarer even than Time Lords. First realm to second realm requires comprehending one's own chaotic origin Dao, which as a fundamental level Dao, must be applicable to most parts of the dimensional rift region. This requires time lifeforms to experience various dimensional spaces, traversing the vast dimensional rift region, making it difficult to comprehend an applicable origin Dao confined to a single dimensional space. This is why almost all second realm time lifeforms only achieve such understanding after leaving their home dimensional space and comprehending other dimensional spaces. This is the norm for second realm time lifeforms. For galaxy to repel Gray Ancestor, its strength must be formidable among second realm time lifeforms, Wan Chengkong remarked. At least, he lacked confidence in making Gray Ancestor retreat. Perhaps other factors, like not wanting to fully engage to prevent Mother of the Screw Realm and himself from capitalizing, contributed to Gray Ancestor's retreat. Very formidable. Mother of the Screw Realm nodded. They once spent 10 pounds of time sand to purchase detailed information on conflicts involving Lin Yuan from Gray Ancestor. Understanding the terrors of this second realm time lifeform, Gray Ancestor retreated not from hesitation but from simply feeling overpowered, avoiding further loss in battle. Huh? It's unexpected for a madman like you to rate it so highly. Wan Chengkong eyed Mother of the Screw Realm. Mother of the Screw Realm's madness was notorious among second realm time lifeforms. But no matter how strong, becoming a lord still requires time, Wan Chengkong stated. Comprehending the chaotic origin Dao might involve insight or other factors, but entering the third realm and consolidating all personal timelines allows no shortcuts. The future timelines are riddled with countless variables, and attempting to consolidate them traps many second realm peak time lifeforms. Indeed, Mother of the Screw Realm nodded in agreement. Among the vast dimensional rift, those entering second realm within a great apocalypse cycle often endured as much time becoming Time Lords as other second realm lifeforms. Ha ha ha! Thinking about it this way makes me feel much better. Wan Chengkong's face broke into a smile. Imagining an abnormality like galaxy, also needing to patiently streamline its timelines, possibly entangled in a single timeline for tens, hundreds, or thousands of great apocalypse cycles. Wan Chengkong found a semblance of balance. Chaos Void. After discerning the essence of the origin Dao of the Milky Way dimension, Lin Yuan returned to the Chaos Void in person. Future Self. Lin Yuan carefully observed his future timelines, with his future self guiding each timeline to quickly converge and consolidate. At the current rate of convergence, it will take approximately 50 to 100,000 years to fully consolidate, marking my true ascension to lordship. Lin Yuan pondered in his mind. Of course, now he is essentially no different from a lord, perhaps even surpassing ordinary lords. But ultimately, he is not yet a lord, having not experienced the realm transcendence or the essence of life transcendence post-becoming a lord. Once the three-world method is mastered, it can almost be said to guarantee becoming a lord. Lin Yuan thought to himself. Once the past self, present self, and future self are gathered, even without doing anything, under the instinctive operation of the three selves, multiple timelines will naturally align and converge. However, mastering the three-world method is far more difficult than becoming a lord. Lin Yuan shook his head slightly. Not to mention the most challenging future self, even just the past self, was more difficult to gather than becoming a lord. Lin Yuan awakened the ninth type of physical body divine ability by utilizing the fundamental power deep in his bloodline and observing the operation of the illusory world before gathering it. Thereafter, by using the past and present selves to anchor the future self and the three-life immortal emperor's teachings of the three-world method, he finally managed to gather the future self. Even for Lin Yuan, mastering the three-world method was so challenging. Other second-realm time beings can't even think about it, and even among third-realm time lords, those who have mastered it are very rare. Otherwise, given the three-world method's advantage in exploring the infinite origin, the other two immortal emperors of the great wilderness origin world should have mastered it early on. In reality, neither Dao Yu immortal emperor nor Emperor Wu Yu have mastered the three-world method. Three-life immortal emperor actually passed on such a precious secret technique to me without reservation. Lin Yuan felt somewhat emotional, even if other lords could not master it. This secret technique inheritance could enhance one's ability to explore the infinite origin, leaving no doubt about its preciousness. Since it is possible to step into the third realm after 50,000 or 100,000 years, now is the time to consider matters post-becoming a lord. Lin Yuan's expression became slightly solemn. Gray Ancestor is only a second-realm time being, yet he is attempting to plan for third-realm lord-tier materials, the heart of Heavenly River, to prepare for his future. Let alone Lin Yuan? Compared to the first realm, second realm, time lords in the third realm have so much to accomplish, and besides becoming a perfect time being, the other two paths are extremely time-consuming. Endless tribulations require crossing tens of billions of tribulations, and the infinite origin is even without an end. Lin Yuan does not plan to attempt becoming a perfect time being. It's too risky. Failure means death. Thus, he is destined to remain at the Time Lord stage for an extended period. Since I plan to attempt the endless tribulations, I must improve my power as much as possible. Lin Yuan thought inwardly. The path of endless tribulations requires passing various tests set by Supreme Rule Dao awareness. According to the three-life immortal emperor, each lord faces different tribulation tests, and even the same tribulation stage presents different tests. As for the test content, it's even stranger. Some tests require traveling to special places to kill a life form, and some require going to the past time-space to prevent certain events from happening. Therefore, to pass the tests, strength must be sustained. Because most tests are related to strength. The stronger the strength, the higher the possibility of overcoming tribulations. And enhancing strength, the simplest means is through weapons. Before the second realm, Lin Yuan had hardly used weapons, relying instead on sheer power. But upon reaching the third realm, facing time lords with unpredictable abilities, strong weapons are needed. Origin Clock. Lin Yuan flipped his right hand, and a palm-sized ancient clock floated above his palm. This is the natal weapon Lin Yuan refined during his weaker days, and since becoming a time being, he has re-refined the origin clock several times, allowing it to also evolve to the 13th tier level. However, to reach a level useful to Lin Yuan, it must at least be a Lord tier weapon. Lord tier. Lin Yuan looked at the origin clock in his palm. I need a large amount of third realm Lord grade materials. The previously acquired Lord grade material, the heart of Heavenly River, is far from sufficient to fulfill the origin clock's evolution to third realm needs. So Lin Yuan still needs to collect a large amount of Lord tier materials. The origin clock, being Lin Yuan's natal weapon, can provide him far more help than other Lord tier weapons if it evolves to Lord grade. Even if the origin clock only evolves to the second realm, it wouldn't be weaker than ordinary Lord grade weapons. Besides normally collecting, I can also trade with other lords. Lin Yuan thought to himself. Even Time Lords have needs and will engage in numerous transactions. Of course, to secure Lord-grade materials through trade, corresponding tier treasures must be exchanged. Chaos Chi drifted around. Lord Emosu looked at the newly ascended Time being, Luo Ho. How stable is the realm? Almost there. Luo Ho nodded. As a newly ascended Time being, the first thing to do is to stabilize the realm and adapt to the new power. The leap from the 12th layer to the 13th layer is the transition from a non-time being to a time being. The perspective of the latter is completely different from the former. That works. Lord Emosu smiled and said, I'll take you to see the galaxy and see if we can let you enter the Milky Way dimension for comprehension. Although the Milky Way dimension is controlled by the Chaos Void, the actual ownership remains with Lin Yuan and other time beings. If one wants to take a new time being in, it is necessary to obtain Lin Yuan's consent. The Milky Way dimension? Luo Ho felt slightly excited. The battle in the Milky Way dimension not long ago, where the Chaos Void's galaxy repelled the mysterious second realm time being Grey Ancestor, was naturally known to Luo Ho. Though the galaxy became a time being after you, you must not have any conflict with it. Lord Emosu reminded. Understood. Luo Ho, of course, was aware. Quickly, Lord Emosu took Luo Ho to see Lin Yuan. Galaxy. Lord Emosu greeted, looking at the young man sitting cross-legged in the void. To Lord Emosu, every timeline of this young man was vague and led to an endless future. One by one, these indistinct timelines vaguely led to the same future, leaving Lord Emosu in awe. Is this the galaxy? Who just repelled a second realm time being not long ago? Luo Ho marveled secretly and also wondered why there was such a vast difference between the first realm and the second realm, as even now he felt that a mere glance from Lin Yuan could gravely injure him. What's the matter? Lin Yuan opened his eyes and looked at Lord Emosu and Luo Ho. In fact, the moment he saw these two time beings, Lin Yuan knew their purpose. The future timelines of the two first realm time beings were clearly visible to Lin Yuan. Luo Ho has stabilized his realm. I plan to take him to the Milky Way dimension. Lord Emosu immediately said. Oh. Lin Yuan nodded. Comprehending the operation of the Milky Way dimension's Dao origin in advance is beneficial for understanding one's own origin Dao. Thank you, Galaxy. Luo Ho felt elated. Now that he was heading to the Milky Way dimension, it was different from before. Previously going to the Milky Way dimension meant competing with other time-being factions, but now, the entire Milky Way dimension belongs to the Chaos Void, belongs to the galaxy. Going to the Milky Way dimension now allows one to enjoy the greatest benefits directly. This was also the reason why Lord Emosu came to seek Lin Yuan's permission. No problem. You and I both come from the same dimensional space. Lin Yuan smiled. He considered himself unable to offer help to time beings from the same dimensional space like the three-life immortal emperor did. But as long as it did not affect him, lending a helping hand was possible. The Milky Way dimension now was of no use to Lin Yuan, so allowing Luo Ho to go there to comprehend was merely a simple favor. Watching Lord Emosu and Luo Ho depart, Lin Yuan once again closed himself off to cultivate. Past self. Lin Yuan looked towards the past, beginning to have his past self explore against the flow of the timeline. The perfect time beings and countless tribulations in the three transcendent paths all require Lord-level capabilities to attempt. But the infinite origin? With Lin Yuan's three-life techniques, he could explore it in advance. Exploring the past was not just for the infinite origin transcendent path. Other Time Lords' messages could also be found there. Now, the future can easily change, bringing variables. The past, however, is constant, making it the meeting place for Time Lords' communications. Lin Yuan wants to evolve the origin clock to a Lord-level weapon, undoubtedly needing to trade with other Lords. And the easiest way to meet other Lords is to go to a specific time and space in the past. After Lin Yuan condensed his past self, he only slightly tried exploring past timelines. But he merely skimmed the surface without delving deeply, and only considered the present self as an anchor point, making it easy to lose oneself. Many Time Lords disappeared without a trace, mostly getting lost in the past timelines. Otherwise, considering the other two paths of transcendence, infinite calamity. Even if one fails at tribulation, before the consciousness of the supreme rule Tao descends to wipe out, there's still some ability to arrange for aftermaths. And the perfect life? The movement upon entering the 14th rank is enormous, with that transformation phenomenon from a time life to a perfect time being. Even if the final result fails, it leaves a profound impact, even ruins. Only the infinite origin source seems much safer than the other two paths. But its true dangers aren't much lower. But now, the future self is formed, the past, future, and present seem like one. Even if Lin Yuan isn't a lord, he is better able to resist the peril of getting lost than ordinary lords. And the peril of getting lost can only be encountered at extremely ancient past-time nodes. Lin Yuan merely explored a bit. Nothing would go wrong. The timeline continuously flows backward, and Lin Yuan becomes more cautious. Except for me, everything is illusion? Lin Yuan glanced around. At this moment, he was situated in a past time frame 2 great extinction cycles away from the present. Must not leave any trace. Lin Yuan thought to himself, leaving traces or influences in the past timeline could be big or small. If small, it wouldn't bring changes to the future, and there'd be no trouble. But if it's significant, like affecting the occurrence of a major event, the backlash force originating from the timeline would be a headache even for lords. Blue Cliff Mountain. Soon, Lin Yuan arrived at a past timeline 12 great extinction cycles away from the present, gazing at a blue icy mountain that doesn't fit in with the surrounding phantom objects. In the eyes of non-time beings from this timeline, this blue icy mountain is very apparent. Every lord who explores this time frame can discover it. For those at the third realm level lord, the means to influence the past, establishing a place in the past timeline for interaction that only lords can find and enter isn't hard. Go in. Lin Yuan's mind slightly moved. He directly stepped in. Establishing an interaction place within the past timeline, besides being sufficiently covert, is also for safety reasons. After all, this type of interaction place, those who entered are from non-present timelines, they wouldn't act rashly. For two beings at lord level, unless they're crazy, they definitely wouldn't dare to fight in the past timeline, as the shockwaves from their combat would affect and eventually accumulate into overwhelming backlash. Inside Blue Cliff Mountain lies a vast world, a terrifying presence gathering in 3s and 2s, all of them Time Lords. Basically, every Time Lord leaves a spiritual avatar in Blue Cliff Mountain, facilitating exchange with other Time Lords at any time. After Lin Yuan entered, he didn't draw attention from other Time Lords. In the outside world, Time Lords are extremely rare, hard to find in vast dimensional gap areas. But here, those who can enter are all Time Lords. Time beings below Lord level can't even discover it. Of course, Lin Yuan is an exception, though not a Time Lord, he's indistinguishable from them. Spacetime Shop. Lin Yuan approached a structure with Spacetime Shop carved into its surface. Since Blue Cliff Mountain is a place for Lord-level exchange, naturally there's a place for transactions too. Lin Yuan stepped inside, quickly greeted by a creature with 12 eyes. "May I ask what you seek?" The 12-eyed creature spoke gently. Such a strong, oppressive feeling? Lin Yuan was startled. This 12-eyed beast's spiritual avatar alone gave him an oppression stronger than the 3-life immortal emperor. "I want some third-realm materials." Lin Yuan hadn't forgotten his purpose. To evolve the origin clock into a Lord-grade weapon, it requires a large amount of third-realm materials. "Please take a look." The 12-eyed beast didn't say much, flipping its hand to form layers of light screens. Recorded on them were numerous Lord-grade materials. Prices ranged from low to high, with the lowest being 10,000 time sand, and the highest reaching billions of time sand. Some couldn't be exchanged with time sand and require barter. Too expensive. Lin Yuan realized he was very poor. Although possessing Lord-grade battle power, ultimately his accumulation time was too short, poorer compared to normal second-realm time beings. A typical lord, having gone through long years of cultivation and gradual accumulation, is never as poor as Lin Yuan. "I'll consider a bit more," Lin Yuan said. "No problem." The 12-eyed beast had no objections. Lord-grade materials are valuable, Naturally, comparing among different shops is necessary. I see you're here at Blue Cliff Mountain for the first time. Surely you just stepped into the third realm, right? The 12-eyed creature looked at Lin Yuan, smiling while inquiring. Yes. Lin Yuan nodded. Most seasoned lords leave a long-term spiritual avatar within Blue Cliff Mountain. Lin Yuan hadn't appeared here before, evidently his first time, which usually happens to newly ascended lords. We time beings undergo countless tribulations, finally reaching the third realm, only to discover how arduous the path of transcendence is. The 12-eyed creature couldn't help but express some emotions. In the eyes of first realm and second realm time beings, Time Lords are lofty, traversing past timelines with incredibly inconceivable methods. But in reality, the path faced by the Lords is far more despairing than that of first realm and second realm time beings. 3 paths to transcendence, a single misstep and it means total annihilation. Indeed, Lin Yuan nodded. In truth, if the Time Lords choose to slack off, they can live quite comfortably. However, with the 3 paths to transcendence there, aside from the perfect life path, can any Time Lord resist the temptation to try the other 2? Yet once they try, problems are easy to arise. For instance, the infinite origin, when exploring an ancient time segment, perhaps moving further leads to transcendence, who can resist not continuing to explore? And by continuing to explore, one might end up lost in disaster. There are endless calamities too. Perhaps you feel the next calamity is not a big problem. But what if the difficulty suddenly surges and you fail? The outcome is being erased by the supreme rule Dao consciousness. Moreover, lords who have cultivated to the third realm are all deeply eager to transcend. The higher the realm, the keener the vision, the greater the desire to break their own grand destiny. Ultimately, they will keep trying the paths to transcendence, and eventually die on these paths. From a certain angle, as long as there is no transcendence, the end of Time Lords is extinction, merely a matter of time. Life under the 13th may vaguely continue living, but not Time Lords. They have already seen through some of the essence of the infinite dimensional space. Having just stepped into the third realm, presumably the sands of time are not abundant. Would you be interested in earning some sands of time? The 12-eyed beast mused for a moment, then suddenly spoke. Earning some sands of time? Lin Yuan's interest was piqued. How to earn? Not long from now, the Oneway space is about to open. Many lords are preparing to join forces for exploration. I just happen to know a few lords who are looking for a third realm partner to explore within. Would you be interested? The 12-eyed beast said. Oneway space. Lin Yuan's heart fluttered. Oneway space is a special spacetime formed by the Oneway Lord before falling after failing to become a perfect time being, gathering all of his essence. The 12-eyed beast paused, continuing to explain. The Oneway Lord has reportedly reached the third level on the endless calamities path to transcendence, and has crossed the second 100 million calamity on the third level. It's just unclear what affected him in the end, making him abandon the endless calamities path to transcendence and instead attempt to become a perfect time being. The 12-eyed beast's expression was quite complicated. The path of endless calamities to transcendence is divided into 3 levels. The third level is the final stage, with a total of 330 million calamities. The Oneway Lord crossed the first 200 million, clearly reaching the later stage of this path. Yet ultimately, he didn't choose to continue this path to transcendence, instead opting for the life-fated path of perfect time being. In fact, if there's no assurance, no Time Lord will willingly attempt perfect time being, relying not on effort on this path, which leaves many lords feeling uneasy. Oneway Lord. Lin Yuan was inwardly amazed. Each calamity crossed on the endless calamities path strengthens one's power level by a fraction. Having traversed the third level of calamities, and within this level crossed 200 million times. How strong is this Oneway Lord's power level? Due to the uniqueness of the endless calamities path, the strength hierarchy among Time Lords is essentially based on this path to transcendence. The more endless calamities one has crossed, the stronger one's power naturally is. A Time Lord passing through the first phase of endless calamities normally is already considered a veteran lord. A Time Lord reaching the last 8,000 calamities of the second phase is already regarded as a truly terrifying existence, not mentioning the Lord's own power. Merely the enhancement derived from passing tens of billions of earlier calamities is enough to distance other lords. As for lords entering the third level of endless calamities, they are already legendary. Lords at this level have basically seen the hope of transcendence, and their power level undergoes a qualitative transformation compared to the previous two levels. The Oneway space, formed from all of the Oneway Lord's essence before he fell, contains many secrets of the Oneway Lord, including the reason for his final choice to attempt perfect time being. The 12-eyed beast said, "Furthermore, the Oneway space also holds all treasures of the Oneway Lord, who is too ancient, the treasures he amassed. Any few can drive ordinary lords crazy. So every time the Oneway space opens, it attracts many lords to explore." The 12-eyed beast glanced at Lin Yuan. "I see." Lin Yuan nodded. "I wonder what the requirements are?" Lin Yuan inquired. "Wait a moment. I'll let them speak to you." The 12-eyed beast promptly made contact. Before long, a figure entirely composed of white mist entered. "Yi Wu, I have found you a lord," the 12-eyed beast greeted. The white mist figure looked at Lin Yuan, speaking, "You can call me Yi Wu. Regarding exploring the Oneway space, I trust the shopkeeper has spoken to you. He has mentioned some things." Lin Yuan nodded. "With your joining us, there's not much you need to do. Only need to strike at critical moments. If causing the main battle body to fall, we will provide additional compensation." Lord Yi Wu said, "Effectively a sentry." Lin Yuan immediately comprehended his position. "During this period, you must act according to our orders. If any losses occur, we can provide compensation." Lord Yi Wu emphasized again. Lin Yuan nodded. "The requirements don't seem high. Once the deed is done, I will give you 10,000 pounds of sands of time as payment." Lord Yi Wu declared. 10,000 pounds of sands of time? Lin Yuan felt quite satisfied. Currently, his entire assets came to just 2,000 or 3,000 pounds of sands of time, 10,000 pounds of sands of time. Many second realm endless years of accumulation amounts to just this. And this is merely payment for a single act by a lord. How long does exploring the Oneway space roughly take? Lin Yuan thought for a moment and asked. 1,000,000 to 10,000,000 years. Lord Yi Wu said. 1,000,000 to 10,000,000 years? Lin Yuan slightly furrowed his eyebrows. Need to follow your orders this entire time? Yes. Lord Yi Wu nodded. The time is too prolonged. Lin Yuan stated directly. According to his current cultivation speed, in at most 100,000 years, he could become a lord. And with Lin Yuan's accumulation, once he becomes a lord, he certainly positions himself among the strongly tiered lords. Expending 10,000 pounds of sands of time to employ a newly minted lord for 1,000,000, 10,000,000 years, no problem. But employing a strongly tiered lord for 1,000,000, 10,000,000 years? That price far exceeds this. Then how long do you propose? Lord Yi Wu queried. No more than 50,000 years. Lin Yuan said. If exceeding 50,000 years, an increase in sands of time is necessary. Then forget it. Lord Yi Wu immediately shook his head. 1,000,000, 10,000,000 years is as brief as a moment for a lord. Shopkeeper, I'm leaving now. Lord Yi Wu turned and left the time-space shop. Since both sides cannot accept each other's proposed requirements, the deal naturally fails. Outside the time-space shop, in front of Lord Yi Wu, a figure of the 12-eyed beast condensed. Precisely the shopkeeper of the time-space shop. Yi Wu, you should have offered more. The 12-eyed beast looked at Lord Yi Wu. The demands you proposed, and yet fooling these newly appointed Time Lords, compensating for losses during Oneway space exploration? If truly encountering irreversible losses, what compensation can you offer? Oneway space's opening attracts some terrifying lords to enter, demanding a lord completely heed your orders. Yet merely offering 10,000 pounds of sands of time? The 12-eyed beast shook its head. Attempting to earn 10,000 pounds of sands of time over 1,000,000, 10,000,000 years, how could there be no risk involved? Lord Yi Wu spoke with indifference. If I were to offer more sands of time, Why wouldn't I find a seasoned Time Lord instead? Shopkeeper, you are too compassionate. He mentions adding a bit, and you'd wish me to add a bit? Lord Yiwu chuckled. In my view, that newly appointed Time Lord is worth only this price. Inside the time-space shop, the 12-eyed beast looked apologetically at Lin Yuan. Yiwu is just like that. Please don't mind. I certainly don't mind, Lin Yuan said. The negotiation with Lord Yiwu didn't go well. Neither side was very satisfied. It's quite normal. In fact, if Lin Yuan were indeed an ordinary new Third Realm Lord, he might have agreed. Only serving for millions or tens of millions of years to get 10,000 pounds of time sands. Definitely not a loss. As for the risks, Lin Yuan didn't even need to think to know there are some risks in Oneway spacetime, but as a Time Lord, his ability to stay alive is quite strong, plus the compensation mentioned by Lord Yiwu. The offer is actually quite good. But unfortunately, Lin Yuan is not a newly appointed Time Lord. His current strength surpasses that of ordinary lords, and after 50,000 or 100,000 years, it will soar even further. To only get 10,000 pounds of time sands in exchange for Lin Yuan's service for millions or tens of millions of years. That's good then. The 12-eyed beast looked at Lin Yuan, its seventh eye blurry, reflecting Lin Yuan's vague past and future. Already a lord, but why are there still traces of diverging timelines? The 12-eyed beast was slightly puzzled internally. Time Lords are very cautious about their own timelines. They will try hard to conceal them, and since here is the past time-space, it's even more impossible to glimpse any timelines. But the 12-eyed beast has many special talents, and though it couldn't observe Lin Yuan's timeline, it still perceived that the timeline hadn't completely converged. Time Lords generally have already completely converged their own timelines. As for those like Lin Yuan whose timeline hasn't converged, there aren't many possibilities. For example, practicing a certain secret technique that specifically causes a previously converged timeline to diverge again, to plan for more possible futures. Or perhaps doing it deliberately, scattering multiple timelines to conceal the true timeline, and so on. Though these possibilities exist, they are all acts of those extremely powerful and terrifying lords, and Lin Yuan, such a newly appointed Time Lord, it stands to reason he shouldn't easily diverge his timeline like this. No matter what, focus on forming a good relationship, the 12-eyed beast thought secretly. It has encountered many Time Lords, but such a unique one as Lin Yuan is rare, naturally unwilling to offend. Earlier it specifically reminded Lord Yiwu outside, suggesting to offer more time sands to hire Lin Yuan. Also considering this aspect, but unfortunately, Lord Yiwu did not perceive its meaning. Or maybe the Lord of Yiwu did perceive, but simply didn't care. Among the many Time Lords, the Lord of Yiwu is considered quite flamboyant in character. Any intelligence on Oneway spacetime? Lin Yuan asked. He was now interested in Oneway spacetime. The strength of Lord Oneway was definitely the most powerful Time Lord he had encountered, having passed the 2 billionth tribulation of the infinite tribulation third-tier stage. The difficulty of each tribulation on the infinite tribulation path supersedes the previous, the 2 billionth tribulation on the third stage. Lin Yuan couldn't even imagine how to get through such a tribulation. There is. The 12-eyed beast smiled and said, complete intelligence is 1,000 pounds of time sands, but I'll charge you less, 500 pounds of time sands. Okay. Lin Yuan nodded. 500 pounds of time sands to acquire complete Oneway spacetime intelligence is indeed not expensive, considering it involves such a being as Lord Oneway. Because the Oneway spacetime has been opened many times, much intelligence is no longer secret, otherwise the price would be thousands or even tens of thousands times higher. Very soon, Lin Yuan received a wealth of intelligence about Oneway spacetime. What do you think? Do you want to wait a bit? 10,000 pounds of time sands is really a bit less. There should be other lords who can offer more. The 12-eyed beast said. The Lord of Yiwu is only willing to offer 10,000 pounds of time sands. But that doesn't mean other Time Lords can't offer more. The 12-eyed beast thought that with its connections, it could secure a good price for Lin Yuan. Forget it. Lin Yuan shook his head. Even if the time sands can be increased from the base of 10,000 pounds, how much could they increase? 12,000 pounds? 15,000 pounds? Even if the 12-eyed beast speaks its utmost, in the eyes of other lords, Lin Yuan is only a newly appointed lord. They wouldn't offer too many time sands. Unless Lin Yuan is willing to reveal his true realm. But doing so would expose his secrets, attracting attention from much stronger lords, which would be counterproductive. If Your Excellency plans to explore Oneway spacetime alone, you need to be cautious of other lords. The 12-eyed beast could see Lin Yuan's thoughts and reminded, Lord Oneway doesn't have much malice towards future lords, and even if there are dangers in the Oneway spacetime he has opened, they won't affect the mind or consciousness, but other lords might be different. In the Oneway spacetime, there are numerous treasures and rarities that are enough to drive Time Lords insane. Once multiple lords fight over a certain treasure, there won't be any holding back. A Time Lord is very hard to truly kill, but when facing an extremely powerful lord, being left with some indelible influence is still possible. Understood. Lin Yuan nodded. If you really encounter some enemy, you can use my name. As long as it doesn't involve the legendary lords, it should be useful. The 12-eyed beast thought for a moment and then spoke. It had already reached the final dozens of tribulations on the second stage of the infinite tribulation, and its strength was quite renowned among the third realm lords. Unless facing the legendary time lords of the third stage, no one would choose to offend it. Thank you. Lin Yuan was quite grateful. The name of the Time Lord is not something that can be mentioned casually, because it will truly be sensed by the master, and a response will be made. With that promise from the 12-eyed beast, Lin Yuan is basically out of true danger within the infinity spacetime. As for the lords of the third tier of legend, the number of lords of this level is extremely rare. Even if they enter the infinity spacetime, they will go straight to the deepest part, and there will basically be no interaction with new lords like Lin Yuan. Chaos Void. Lin Yuan sat cross-legged, browsing the intelligence about infinity spacetime. The information provided by the 12-eyed beast was very detailed, not only about the infinity spacetime itself but also many deeds of the Lord Oneway. The Lord Oneway has not only progressed to the later stages of the endless tribulation path of transcendence, but has also explored extremely ancient times on the infinite origin path of transcendence. In addition, Lord Oneway is the highest achiever on the soul perfection path. Before Lord Oneway, besides the mainstream 3 paths of transcendence, there were some other paths of transcendence. One of them, named soul perfection, was recognized by quite a few lords. Perfect soul means reaching a flawless and immaculate state in the soul, and then nurturing a perfect mind with the perfect soul, transcending through the mind. The so-called perfect soul is to achieve an unsurpassable level in the soul, standing at an absolutely perfect height in the realm of lords. It should be understood that the soul of life is extremely special. Wanting it to be flawless is basically unachievable. But Lord Oneway somehow managed it, yet unfortunately, the ultimately flawless soul did not nurture a perfect mind, and even Lord Oneway's strength did not improve much. It is precisely because of Lord Oneway that the soul perfection path of transcendence was proven impossible and could not lead to a lord's transcendence. The more Lin Yuan read about Lord Oneway, the more questions arose in his heart. Why did Lord Oneway choose to impact the perfect time being in the end? Wouldn't it be more assured to continue exploring the infinite origin path of transcendence or choose to undergo tribulations? From a certain perspective, when Lord Oneway chose to impact the perfect time being, it might have been better to do so when he first became a lord. After countless years as a lord, reaching limits on many paths, yet still choosing this transcendence path which relies solely on destiny. Wouldn't all previous efforts be meaningless? Perhaps Lord Oneway believed he couldn't overcome the subsequent tribulations. Lin Yuan thought to himself, is it only when there is no hope on the path of endless tribulation that one chooses to impact the perfect time being? I am fortunate. Lin Yuan examined himself. At least with the help of the world-breaking origin force, as long as he chooses endless tribulation, he is almost certain to overcome all tribulations. It's merely a question of world-breaking origin force quantity, that is, the length of time. With the opening of infinity spacetime this time, I might as well go in and explore. Having finished perusing the intelligence on infinity spacetime, Lin Yuan thought to himself. Exploring infinity spacetime, as long as one is a bit careful, isn't very dangerous. Unless it's to compete for some treasured artifact and fight with other lords. Or delve into some perilous areas. Some dangerous places within infinity spacetime can threaten a lord's existence. But as long as these are avoided, the issue isn't very large. Outside the chaos void, two figures descended. Brother Galaxy, the mother of the Screw Realm, and Wan Chengkong patiently waited for a while. Lin Yuan's figure soon materialized. Brother Galaxy. Wan Chengkong's face broke into a smile, greeting Lin Yuan. Brother Galaxy. The mother of the Screw Realm did the same. Since the Battle of the Milky Way, the two beings of the second realm of time often came to find Lin Yuan to drink and strengthen their relationships. Not too long since we last met. It seems you have business with me. Lin Yuan smiled, happy to converse with the mother of the Screw Realm and Wan Chengkong. After all, these two beings of the second realm of time were knowledgeable, and Lin Yuan could learn many interesting things from them. It's something important. The mother of the Screw Realm smiled. Brother Galaxy, do you know infinity spacetime? Infinity spacetime? Lin Yuan nodded. I know a little. He had just purchased detailed Oneway timespace intelligence from the owner of the timespace shop. The opening of Oneway timespace, Lord Chu Wei has issued a summons, wanting to bring us second realm beings together into Oneway timespace. Mother of the Screw Realm spoke bluntly. Within Oneway timespace there are some dangerous realms, and Lord Chu Wei needs some time beings to help explore, hence plans to hire us. Exploring. Lin Yuan understood. Oneway timespace harbors many dangerous realms, some of which pose threats to lords. Thus time beings are needed to explore. How much time sand does Lord Chu Wei intend to give? Lin Yuan casually asked. 2,000 pounds of time sand. Mother of the Screw Realm replied. Additionally, if other gains are obtained within Oneway timespace, Lord Chu Wei is willing to spend equivalent time sand to purchase them. I see. Lin Yuan nodded slightly. Compared to Lord Yi Wu's requirements, Lord Chu Wei is quite demanding. Not only giving just 2,000 pounds of time sand, but even compelling the handover of any gains within Oneway timespace. Though Lord Chu Wei promises to purchase with equivalent time sand, many gains within Oneway timespace are unavailable outside. Whereas Lord Yi Wu's demand of Lin Yuan was merely to heed commands, and wouldn't bother with Lin Yuan's acquisitions. Lord Chu Wei's terms are quite good. Wan Chengkong said beside him, Oneway timespace may remain open for 1,000,000 years. Once agreed, there's at least an income of 2,000 pounds of time sand. Wan Chengkong looked at Lin Yuan. Galaxy, would you like to join us? I'll pass. Lin Yuan shook his head. Though he does intend to enter Oneway timespace, he's not planning to join other lords, let alone exploring like Mother of the Screw Realm and Wan Chengkong. All right then. Mother of the Screw Realm and Wan Chengkong did not think much, perhaps assuming Lin Yuan found Oneway timespace too dangerous. Indeed, Oneway timespace poses significant dangers to second realm time beings, with a likelihood of encountering lord-level existences. But danger begets opportunity. Is it possible to earn thousands of time sand without danger? How could it be? Besides, acquiring certain treasures or curiosities would far exceed mere thousands of time sand. After chatting a while longer with the two, Mother of the Screw Realm and Wan Chengkong, Lin Yuan watched the others gradually fade away. Oneway timespace has 100 years still before it opens. Lin Yuan thought to himself, during this time besides cultivation, I can explore the fourth source world. The coordinates of 33 source worlds deep within the Myriad Realms Gate. Lin Yuan has successfully explored the first three. The fourth source world. Lin Yuan's consciousness sank deeply into his mind, gazing at the majestic and grand Myriad Realms Gate. Each time he observes the Myriad Realms Gate, Lin Yuan perceives differently. The higher his realm, the more awe-inspiring it becomes. Let's see this source world. Lin Yuan gathered his thoughts, directing a strand of consciousness, using the Myriad Realms Gate as the mediator, swiftly reaching the vicinity outside the fourth source world. Each time he descends into a new world, Lin Yuan acts this way mainly to gain a rough understanding of the impending world's information. With the perspective of the myriad realms gate, many secrets of this source world were clear to Lin Yuan. Compared to the previous 3 source worlds, the 4th source world is extremely unique. As this source world has just undergone a great cataclysm and is in the newborn phase. During this phase, the Tao origin within the source world fully manifests, numerous opportunities are everywhere, and simultaneously, bizarre lifeforms may be birthed. Lin Yuan's expression showed a hint of peculiarity. Despite being countless years behind the strongest of a source world, Lin Yuan could quickly catch up and surpass within a short time. Now, sharing the newborn stage of the world, all are standing at the same starting line. Lin Yuan descending at this moment, wouldn't he easily dominate? In the midst of chaos, Lin Yuan's slumbering consciousness gradually awakened. Have I already descended to the 4th source world? Lin Yuan diverted his mind to explore the surroundings. At this moment, he still did not have the concept of eyes. Everything relied on his own perception. This time my vessel is a divine stone, an innate divine stone. Lin Yuan thought to himself. After becoming a time life form, descending via the myriad realms gate, he could actively choose his vessel. And this time Lin Yuan chose the vessel of an innate divine stone. There was no choice. This source world was in its nascent stage, and everything was in a chaotic state, leaving few options for a vessel. The innate divine stone was the first divine stone nurtured by this source world. Its natural aptitude was quite good, making it one of Lin Yuan's best choices. The Tao manifests, the origin flows, TSK. Lin Yuan merely probed slightly and sensed the vigorous vitality of the surrounding heavens and earth. During the nascent period of the source world, the entire dimensional space had not yet taken shape. At this time, the most precious origin Tao to living beings was practically unveiled without any concealment. In such a cultivation environment, even a pig would smoothly cultivate to the perfect 12th tier. Furthermore, during this period, the river of time had not yet condensed. This meant that all the life birthed during this period would inherently be unfettered by the river of time. No need for the ultimate leap from the 11th to the 12th tier. As long as they didn't perish midway, they would certainly possess the qualifications to become time life forms. What's more, the life forms that could be nurtured during the nascent stage of the source world were incredibly powerful, both in talent and aptitude. It can be predicted that, in the long years to come, this world would essentially be ruled by the first batch of newly born life forms. According to the normal timeline, this innate divine stone of mine would, after eons, nurture a powerful innate life. Lin Yuan contemplated inwardly. This was also the result of him observing the future timeline. Now that I have descended, there's no need for an extended eon. With a gentle movement of Lin Yuan's mind, boundless innate chaos chi began to surge towards him from all directions. Passive cultivation is entirely different from active cultivation. Moreover, Lin Yuan, as a time life form, had an absurdly high efficiency in active cultivation. Merely a month passed. The vessel Lin Yuan occupied, the innate divine stone, smoothly transformed. Unlike nurturing life from within the innate divine stone, directly transforming from the innate divine stone allows maximum utilization of the stone itself. Finally, I can unleash my full potential. A smile emerged on Lin Yuan's face. Prior to transforming, his essence was still that of an innate divine stone, unable to move easily. This was a limitation imposed upon him by the Tao of this Feng Yuan world. But after transformation, these restrictions no longer applied. The consciousness of the source world hasn't focused much on me? At the moment of transformation, Lin Yuan faintly sensed an invisible force descending and retreating instantly. It was presumably the consciousness of the source world. Lin Yuan's premature transformation was entirely an anomaly, breaking conventional rules. Normally, the first being to traverse this source world should not have been Lin Yuan. Yet now Lin Yuan had achieved it, evidently exceeding the expectations of the source world consciousness. In fact, even a Time Lord, such as the Lord of Heaven Light, paying a huge price to blend into a nascent stage source world, wouldn't dare act as Lin Yuan did, as they would be instantly detected and eradicated by the source world consciousness. Once merged with a dimensional space, the strength of a Time Lord drastically declines, leaving them with little power to protect themselves. At this point, facing erasure by the source world consciousness, the outcome can be imagined. Therefore, after blending into a source world, even if Time Lords can observe future timelines and know of countless opportunities and advantages, they still dare not act excessively. The various opportunities and benefits of a nascent stage source world are mostly predetermined. Which outsider dares meddle? But Lin Yuan was different. He descended into this source world via the Myriad Realms Gate, perfectly blending in, so even with exhaustive probing from the source world consciousness, it would merely deem him as a native life form of the source world. Even performing unconventional feats, the source world consciousness would take no action. In the eyes of the source world consciousness, Lin Yuan, like any other nurtured life form, was its child. As for the time life forms that infiltrate in, they are foreign usurpers, occupying nests of others, who would be erased without hesitation upon detection. Time to go out for a stroll. Lin Yuan immediately began traversing the land of this nascent stage source world. At this time, the essential nature of the origin Dao was openly displayed. For time life forms, the most precious essence of the origin Dao was realized almost effortlessly. The essential laws of this source world's Dao are so unique. Lin Yuan's eyes shone. Every dimensional space had different essential laws for the operation of the Dao origin, which is why time life forms must explore each dimensional space. Even more so for the source world. Compared to other dimensional spaces, the status and essence of a source world are higher, offering greater assistance to Lin Yuan. Besides comprehending the naturally manifested operations of the Dao origin essence, I can also study the first batch of innate life nurtured by this Fang Yuan world. Lin Yuan considered inwardly. What is the most precious thing that a source world nurtures? Treasures? Marvels? Or weapons? None of these. The most precious thing is life. Because only life possesses infinite potential, only life holds the hope of breaking shackles. Especially the first batch of life forms birthed during the nascent stage of a source world, they encompass a multitude of secrets of heaven and earth. The first source world explored by Lin Yuan, where the first life Abyss Dragon was nurtured, is extremely unique and tremendously powerful. If it weren't for Defu ancestor becoming a time being first, that Abyss Dragon would likely have become a time being. The first batch of innate beings nurtured by this source world numbered 3,000. In endless ages to come, these 3,000 innate beings are referred to as the 3,000 chaotic gods. Lin Yuan observed the future timelines. These 3,000 innate beings started with 12 layers of strength, with the strongest among them even approaching time being. Of course, that would be after they are completely nurtured. And now, these 3,000 beings are still being nurtured. At most, they have only gathered a small amount of consciousness. Pan. Within a chaos-colored giant egg, a consciousness slowly gathered, constantly emanating the sound of pan. At that moment, a young man appeared beside this giant egg. The consciousness inside the egg was suddenly startled and a bit stunned. As in its understanding, it never imagined a scene like this would happen, having an unknown life so close to it. Who are you? The consciousness within the egg questioned, asking instinctively but with curiosity as well. Curious as to why Lin Yuan could appear here right in front of it. Who am I? Lin Yuan examined the giant egg from top to bottom. In the normal timeline, this giant egg is the first innate being nurtured by Fang Yuan world, and also the strongest one. In the distant future, the life within this egg, under the guidance of the source world consciousness, will slaughter all of the other 2,999 innate chaotic gods, ultimately opening the heavens and earth, allowing Fang Yuan world to smoothly transcend the newborn phase. Yes, who are you? The consciousness within the egg continued to inquire. You don't need to know who I am. Lin Yuan shook his head. Now, don't resist. Let my power seep in. As the first innate chaotic god nurtured by Fang Yuan world, In the future, its strength approaches that of a time being. Its essence is extraordinarily powerful, yet it is precisely because it is too powerful that its fate was predestined. It cannot become a true time being. The purpose of the source world nurturing the egg is to propel itself past the newborn phase, and so it is with the other 2,999 innate chaotic gods. For this reason, Lin Yuan is quite curious about the essence of the egg, exactly what kind of power allows the egg in the future to have power close to that of a time being. No, I want to resist. The consciousness inside the egg instinctively resisted letting Lin Yuan's power permeate through. Dare to resist, and I will kill you, Lin Yuan said calmly. In fact, this was completely a scare tactic against the egg, as the awareness of the source world is very concerned about the egg, and if Lin Yuan acted, he would surely be stopped. The consciousness of the source world permits Lin Yuan to perform some outlandish actions but absolutely does not allow the disruption of the evolutionary process. The egg and the other 2,999 innate chaotic gods have great utility in the evolution of the source world and must not be allowed to perish midway. Kill me? The egg's consciousness felt fear. Then I won't resist. Very well. Lin Yuan nodded in satisfaction. These innate chaotic gods' consciousnesses have not fully coalesced. Their minds are not fully formed, making them very easy to deceive. Soon, Lin Yuan comprehended the inside and outside of the egg. During this time, the consciousness of the source world was always attentive, preventing Lin Yuan from killing the egg. As for Lin Yuan comprehending the essence contained within the egg, the source world consciousness did not care much, just as long as the egg wouldn't die. Done. After several years, Lin Yuan had almost comprehended the essence of the egg, and he stood up to leave. You are leaving? The consciousness within the egg looked at Lin Yuan's departing figure, suddenly feeling a bit of reluctance. Though Lin Yuan was extremely domineering, forcing it to open up, the occasional exchanges between them over the years made the consciousness within the egg quite happy. After Lin Yuan left, the consciousness within the egg abruptly found a secret technique deep within its mind. What is this? The egg's consciousness was a bit curious, deducing that the secret technique should have been left by Lin Yuan. As long as you master that secret technique, you should be able to change your destiny. Walking across the nascent lands of the source world, Lin Yuan deliberately left a secret technique for the consciousness within the egg before leaving. The purpose of this secret technique is to allow the consciousness within the egg to retain a sliver of spiritual power to reincarnate when it perishes. The egg's existence was to drive the source world's evolution, but as to why it would die, it is because once the source world completes its evolution, the egg would no longer be needed. But being unnecessary does not necessarily mean death. This was also Lin Yuan's attempt to test and play against the consciousness of the source world. Next, Lin Yuan continued walking on the lands of the source world, comprehending the essence of the other 2,999 innate chaotic gods. These 3,000 innate chaotic gods are products of the nascent stage of the source world, nurtured by the consciousness of the source world at great expense. After the nascent stage, the lives born do not enjoy such treatment. Therefore, Lin Yuan specifically researched the essence of these lives, as a form of compensation for himself. To nurture life, especially powerful, strong, and potent ones with great potential, is not an easy task. And so, 100 years slipped by. Chaos void. Lin Yuan sat cross-legged. Numerous insightful sparks and realizations surged in his mind, vibrating the universe within him incessantly. Comprehending the operation essence of the Dao origin of the fourth source world made the universe within Lin Yuan more perfect. In the span of 100 years, my internal universe transformed multiple times, but it always became more perfect. As for becoming truly perfect, I feel that is still far away. Lin Yuan mused. The gap from imperfection to perfection is indeed too vast. Although there is only one level difference between a time being and a perfect time being, it feels like a world of difference. Going from a time being to a perfect time being is a much larger leap than going from the first layer to a time being. No wonder many Time Lords choose the perfect time being path to transcendence, because other paths to transcendence seem to have no end. Only the perfect time being shows immediate results, success or failure can be seen instantly. Lin Yuan silently thought to himself, he doesn't yet have such feelings of despair, because he is too young and constantly progressing, while other Time Lords do not have Lin Yuan's talent. My current power. A smile appeared on Lin Yuan's face. The 100 years he explored the fourth source world was also 100 years of rapid increase in his power. Foremost was the transformation of his internal universe, which is fundamental to Lin Yuan. The transformation of his internal universe leads to an overall enhancement of Lin Yuan. Furthermore, the operation essence of the Dao origin of the fourth source world caused multiple transformations in Lin Yuan's internal universe, and Lin Yuan's power was elevated multiple times. Additionally, studying the life essence of the 3008 chaotic gods of the fourth source world brought Lin Yuan great benefits, culminating in the creation of a new method, called Innate 5 Great. This is a method created by Lin Yuan, integrating all his Dao insights and experience. Currently only the first form, Tai Chu, has been perfected. This form is derived from the nascent period of the fourth source world, where all things are in the initial stage, originating from the beginning, which is Tai Chu. Tai Chu is a very comprehensive method, capable of both attack and defense, and can even save lives. In all aspects, it is extremely formidable. Although Innate 5 Great has only the first form, its power should have reached the second tier of a Time Lord. Lin Yuan assessed in his heart. Time Lords on the endless catastrophe path of transcendence are divided into 3 tiers. Each tier consists of billions or even tens of billions of catastrophes. A second-tier Time Lord is already considered quite formidable. Currently, Lin Yuan, with a second realm body, possesses means comparable to a second-tier Time Lord, something unheard of in the infinite dimensions of time beings.